What?
Well, when I was picking up kolaches this morning, they were talking about it. It's called The French Dispatch. Do you know who Wes Anderson is?
I do not.
Have you ever seen probably my top 5 greatest movies ever? We'll watch it today. The Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yeah.
The Grand Budapest.
Yeah. You've seen that movie?
Yeah.
Okay. It's that guy.
Oh, all right.
He's done the Royal Tenenbaum.
Yeah, he's a lot of funny names, huh? The Tenenbaums, the House of Budapest, the Moonrise Kingdom.
But
all of
the
his
people
movies
talking
are
about it
great.
said it's great.
All the movies he's ever made, even Fantastic Mr. Fox and that new one he had, Isle of Dogs. Oh man, he's a director, but he really pulls from like classic French like cinematography, and he's like really goofy with his movies, and his dialogue is really like upbeat and like quirky, and you're like, why did he say it like that? You know, you just listen, it's just really, really capturing, film. I love his movies.
I like his visual.
The visual,
bright
everything,
colors.
everything's centered, bright colors, quirky outfits, like everything is, how it is.
So, anyways, I just wanted to bring that up.
Are we rolling?
We're rolling.
Oh, what is up?
Hey, what's up, dude?
Not
What
much.
are you doing over there?
Chance, we got the camera on me right now? All right, bring it on me. Let me know when we're good.
You're good.
We're good. All right, what's up, everybody? I just got back from a hike in Utah last week. Went to, Zion Grand Tetons? I don't know. But me and my girlfriend, we just got back from a hiking trip, and I'm here in Florida visiting my family.
This is a hot sports opinion, I think.
And my family's about to take me to a park because I'm going to go on a solo hike by myself.
God.
And, I just finished my laundry. So this is our Halloween episode. I'm going to be Brian Laundry for about 10 more seconds because it's cold as balls out here.
It is cold as shit.
So I'm Brian. I've actually, hold on. I don't know if anyone noticed in the last episode, but I shaved my head for this. I started growing out my beard. I've got the white shirt, the infamous white shirt we saw on the police cam. I got my hiking backpack. I got my Tevas, my sandals on, and I got a laundry basket because I'm Brian Laundry. I'm just a hiker named Brian who's doing his laundry. Check out my travel vlog with my girlfriend. Brian travels.
Wow. You're pushing right up to the line there, I think.
I think you have two different people in the world. You have the guy on TikTok who is, this is not Brian Landry.
Yeah, and then you have trying
Carter
to be
too.
Brian Landry.
This might be Brian Landry.
At trying to be Brian Laundry. So I'm Brian Laundry. Actually, it's not too cold out here now after we've done all the setup, so I might not put my jacket on. I don't know.
Yeah.
You think I look good? You think I pulled it off?
Got water in there?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
This isn't water.
Chance, what are you?
Joe Dirt.
Joe.
Can we see you on the camera?
Yeah, you can see me.
I think you've nailed it.
Shout out to Morgan for straightening my hair for it, too.
Straightening that curly mullet, dude.
I would like to say Carter went 100%. He shaved his head.
I shaved my head. Well, he didn't have to. He was already playing the part. He was living the part. He didn't have to do it.
I'm the reincarnation of Joe Dirt.
He's like Joe Mudd.
You got whisker do's, whisker don'ts? That's from Joe Dirt, right?
Nice. Guess what my Halloween costume is?
What's your Halloween costume, Kelly?
Today, for Halloween, I'm just an overage.
You
I
look
can't
like
speak today.
Yeah. You
I'm
can
a
never
middle-aged. I'm a middle-aged dad. to a
mid-aged.
podcast.
You're in the mid-range.
I don't know. I turned 50 this year, so.
This mid-range model is hey, but you look like a coach. You look like a Nebraska coach. You need to throw your headphones down.
I'm Scott Frost.
Don't throw your headphones.
And for this podcast, I'm fucking pissed.
I'm Scott Frost. Oh, God.
Yeah,
we just lost by 4 points again.
Coach, how does it feel to lose in overtime in
We just
every
played the
single
number
game?
5 team in the nation, and we should have won, but we lost by 4.
You brought it all the way to the doorstep, but you couldn't bring it in the house. You know what I mean?
Story of Nebraska.
Nebraska.
You'll be a Nebraska fan. I know
Yeah.
for your son that I'm going to highly encourage that.
You taught me the way.
I did. And so you're learning it's a big disappointment at the end
I've
of the year.
learned. It's just enjoy the culture, enjoy the sport.
Yeah.
But guess what? All the hype,
have-
all the preseason hype is going to manifest in like the first game, and then the rest of the season is downhill from there.
It is. It's like joining the Marine Corps. You just got to embrace the suck.
It's like, seriously, it's like enjoy that first game because that first game better be good, because if it's not, the rest of the season is downhill from there no matter what. So better start on a high note and have like some runway to go down rather than just start in the gutter.
Gotcha.
Awesome. So let's kick this thing off, Chance. Go ahead and hit that intro. Welcome to podcast number 7 of Generational Gap. If this is your first time watching, welcome. Please don't cancel us. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Thanks for not canceling us. Today is Saturday, October 30th, 2020. It's about 45 degrees out. Nice brisk fall morning.
Hold on.
What's
48.
48 degrees. So we are almost at freezing temperature this morning, guys. Almost at freezing temperature. We're almost there. I really don't want to get there, but we're almost there.
Are we going to do this podcast outside when we do?
We'll figure it out.
I think we should.
So we got a great episode today. I'm super excited. Kelly, what do you got?
On this day, October 30th, 1340, the Battle of Rio Salado.
The Battle?
Do you know what that is?
No, I didn't know what the Battle of Faduba was or what last week.
It's where King Alfonso IV of Portugal and King Alfonso the 11th, an X and a 1, that's 11, right?
Yep.
They defeated the Sultan Abu al-Hassan Ali of Morocco. We don't have enough sultans anymore.
We don't have enough sultans.
We got prime ministers.
We
and
have lords.
And
we have a lord at this table.
we do. You are.
I'm a lord.
We'll talk about that later,
Yeah,
Chance.
we'll bring that up sometime.
Not enough sultans.
Yeah, not enough sultans for sure. What else?
On this day, October 30th, 1899, the Battle of Ladysmith.
Ladysmith?
Yes.
Lady McSmith.
The Boers defeated the British, leading to the siege of Ladysmith. Not sure what that has anything to do. I'm telling you that 1800s, not a good time for the British military.
A lot more wars back then.
Yeah. On this day, 1905,
Getting closer.
October Manifesto by Russian Tsar Nicholas II. Guess what it did?
That started the revolution.
No, it actually granted civil liberties and accepts the first parliament.
Bro, but I'm pretty sure after that, like, the people were, like, blowing up the...
Oh, well, socialism soon take over after that. So,
They have, like, a bloody November or something, right?
on this day, October 30th, 1917, the British government gives final approval to the Balfour Declaration.
The Balfour Declaration.
Very highly controversial.
Why?
I have no idea.
God damn it. You need to do a little bit. Just like he just like tells you the highlights and then he moves. I'm like, what was it? I'm interested.
On this day, 1944.
Oh, God.
This isn't funny. Aaron Copland's ballet score of the Appalachian Spring premiered in Washington, D.C. That's a highly controversial song. Highly.
Does it say the N-word?
1944, probably not.
1944,
Probably so.
Appalachian Spring. I'm going to say it might say the N-word, dude.
A few times.
We're out burning crosses because the weather's great. All right, anyways.
It's a great day for burning crosses.
On this day, we'll know this one. October 30th, 1974. Let's see if Chance knows what this is. The Rumble in the Jungle.
I do not know what that
I think I know what it is. Is that a boxing match?
It is.
I think I know. Muhammad Ali
Versus
and Gorbachev. I know. I'm just
very famous boxer.
I don't know.
Has a grill.
I don't know.
George Foreman.
Oh, George Foreman. I don't. I only know him for his grills.
I didn't know George Foreman was a boxer.
When you said grill, I thought you meant
George-
mouth grill.
And this is Generation Gap. Really?
No, I did not.
You don't know who George Foreman is. You thought it was just
The grill guy.
At least I know that George Foreman was a famous boxer, and then he turned himself into a mogul, a grill mogul.
he was the heavyweight champion of the world.
He had a
Yeah, I
grill.
didn't know that.
When
Very
he's
famous.
He makes pretty good grills, though. They last forever.
He got knocked down in the 8th round.
wow.
And this is where Muhammad Ali's strategy of rope-a-dope took place. Do you know what rope-a-dope is?
No.
Basically, he just literally, it was so hot there. It was like, I think it was like well over 100 degrees.
Where was it?
Zaire, in Kenesha, Zaire,
Okay.
in Africa.
Oh, it was in Africa. Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
And so Muhammad Ali was, I'd say, a lot more agile. And he would just, like, he'd get against the ropes and just every time George Foreman would swing,
Yeah.
he just
Back up, move around.
And George Foreman wore himself out.
Is that where the float like a butterfly, sting like a bee methodology comes in play?
I think that was part of it, but that was well before.
What was his tactic called?
Rope-a-dope.
Rope-a-dope. Because I'm going to rope a dope. I'm going to...
So he would just let George Foreman swing. Like, I don't know. Do not take this for gospel.
No, we know nothing about...
But I don't think he swung a lot.
Okay.
His whole strategy was to let George Foreman... Because these are heavyweight dudes. These are big dudes.
Yeah. So you've got energy conservation is a thing.
Yeah, and it was hot as shit where they were.
Quick question: is it Africa, or is it like South Africa?
Zaire.
That sounds like Africa.
That
sounds like legit Africa.
Yeah.
Wait, what is Africa, or what is Africa versus Africa?
Well, I'm thinking like the Sahara and like the Congo,
or are we talking like?
And then there's like
Kenya.
Like Kenya, the Congo, the Sahara. Like that's like. When you say like third world country Africa, I'm like, oh, that. But then I think like South Africa is like a little bit nicer. I don't know. I'm just being goof.
Born on this day, very controversial.
Hitler.
Some people may say close.
Oh, really?
I find him to be a great man.
Candace Owens.
Born on this day, 1451, Christopher Columbus.
Christopher Columbus was born today. Happy birthday, Christopher Columbus.
Born on this day.
Colonizing motherfucker. You.
Hey. Moving on. Born on this day. 1735.
Okay.
John Adams.
Oh, nice.
Second president of the United States, I believe.
Yeah. Is he a framer? He's a founding father, right?
Yeah. I think he was the second. I was about to say not the only person. First person to ever have his son become president also.
Yeah, first person.
Because the Bushes.
Yeah.
And the Roosevelts. I don't know. They were cousins, brothers, sons. I don't know how that worked.
I don't know.
Here's another controversial one, but me like ye a lot, so I'm going to say it. Which camera am I on?
You.
It's on you.
Happy 40th birthday, Ivanka Trump.
Oh, happy birthday, Ivanka.
All right.
Man.
But we do have a new sponsor.
What's our sponsor of the week? Do you have a video you got pull up?
I do. There is a link if you guys would like to see it. But the sponsor of the week is called True. Here we go.
True.
That's not the name.
Oh.
We'd like to thank this week's sponsorship to Master Bait and Tackle, located in Chesterfield, Indiana.
Master Bait and Tackle.
Master Bait and Tackle. Their
That's
slogan is... Here we go.
If the name wasn't enough, they're really diving into it, huh?
This is their real slogan.
Okay.
We are stiff competition.
They're really leaning into that.
Hey, do you need help with your rod, your reel, or your bait? At Master Bait and Tackle, we got it. Our bait, always fresh. We got night crawlers, neon crawlers, red wrigglers. Beam off.
What?
Beamoth?
Beamoth? Why was that so?
Don't know. Crappie and bass minnows?
Crappie.
Or skipjack, some people call them, I guess. We have them, and they're always fresh.
Always ready.
They were established in 2016, but our bait shop, nothing better than a bait shop that has the look that was built in the 60s. It's on their website. I don't know why they put that on there.
That's awesome. They're really leaning into that country.
They're there?
Country living. That's not it, Chance. But, okay.
For you catfish anglers, they got Whisker Seeker tackle.
Whisker Seeker tackles.
And their rods.
Oh.
Must be a...
What are the strength of the rods? They got good, strong rods over there at Master Baiters?
Well, whatever you're looking for, they have stiff competition.
Do you want flexible rods? Do you want stiff rods? Do you want long rods or short rods? You make that choice.
They got Whisker Seekers, Whisker Sticks.
Whisker do's, whisker don'ts.
I just thought that was funny, some of the names of their catfish anglers. Big Cat Fever rods.
Okay.
Hooker Terminal rods. Chubby Fish Outdoor. Yes, Chubby Fish Outdoor. Abu Garcia reels and Whisker Sticks. Phone number is 765-639-9525. Don't forget to give them a call. Get 10%. Just tell them you listen to Jen Gap.
Hey, shout out to Master Baiters. Shout out to the Master Baiters.
Master Bait and Tackle.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, they're Master Baiters, right? They're Master Baiters over at Master Bait Fish and Tackle, right?
Yes. I see what you did there.
Yeah, see? Just adding on. So shout out to them. Great sponsor of the week.
And we appreciate it.
All right. Oh, man. I like doing this in the morning.
I do, too. It gives us our day.
Yeah. You know, the weather's nice. Well, hopefully it's more of like when the weather's nice. If the weather gets bad, then we're going to have to do this inside or at a more formidable time.
Formidable. Nice.
So, I'm ready.
Ready?
Who first?
Are you ready?
Okay.
You got the camera on
So
me,
if you didn't see last week, I'm sure this is going to be a very heavy.
Okay, so
here we go.
If you guys watched last episode, it got a little heated at the beginning, and by a little heated, I mean super heated.
I told Carter to fuck off.
That's totally fine. I honestly deserve to be told to fuck off.
I'm not going to interrupt you. I'm going to let you have your time.
Yeah, sure. That's what I was going to ask. You know, first I just want to say I want to apologize to Kelly, to Chance, to myself, and to our great listeners out there. We got some feedback that, you know, our argument really set on by me was probably not the best viewer experience. I know that a couple people were like, yeah, I kind of skipped through that, you know. So, you know, I felt bad after that. I was like, I don't think I've ever talked from I don't think I've ever talked from a place of like such ignorance. I don't know. I was so concerned with getting my point across, and I was so unresearched that I did not like how I carried myself through that conversation. I went straight to like attacks and you know, just
name calling.
Yeah, name calling, and it wasn't good. I mean, you also jumped in there a little bit, but you had a valid point, and I was just talking from, you know, nothing essentially. Like once I really thought about it, I was like, man, I mean, Kelly's completely right. Like I didn't know anything about Candace Owens except for the little that I've seen of her, you know.
Reddit?
No. Okay, so I wanted to, because I was talking about, I was talking shit about Candace Owens, and I wasn't talking from a place of knowledge, and I really didn't like that. I don't want that to be this podcast, and I don't want that to be me. I was really upset. Like, man, why was I even talking about something I didn't do any research? I knew nothing about. I was just throwing my opinion out there, and I thought that was terrible.
And that's like with any topic. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Right, yeah, of course.
If you come in there and you researched it,
right.
Not you, anybody.
Of course.
And that's how you generally feel,
then that's good. That. I think what I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to listen and you're going to be like, this is not going to be an argument. This is going to be a really healthy conversation. Okay. I just want to start off by saying I've watched over 15 hours of Candace Owens this week. I watched her on Joe Rogan. I watched her on Russell Brand. I watched her on Ben Shapiro. I watched a shit ton of her own show. I watched all of her Senate hearings. Okay. The Senate hearings. I've listened to so much Candace Owens. I probably know more about Candace Owens than anybody at this table or maybe anyone listening to this podcast. Okay. I know. Look at,
yes.
This isn't all my notes. This isn't all for Candace Owens, but a healthy piece of these notes that I've researched today or for this episode are about Candace Owens. So
I love Candace Owens.
Camera still on me? Candace Owens, Trump 2024.
Wow. All right.
I'm just kidding. But I am here to say that I did enjoy listening to Candace Owens. I enjoyed researching her and learning about her. You're totally right. I agree with so many things she says.
You're not going to agree with anything, 100% of anything that anybody says.
So,
okay,
I've got a ton. Okay, so let's talk about who is Candace Owens, because I want to be like, listen, I've gone back and I've done my research. I know what I'm talking about now. Okay, Candace Owens is originally famous from a high school incident where some kids in her high school called her, or not even from her high school, only one kid from her high school, but some kids called her and left a bunch of racist voicemails telling her they were going to kill her like Martin Luther King, and, you know, she was to end this and end that, blah, 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 all this stuff. And then the media grabbed that and ran with it. So that's where she kind of came into fame.
This is high school, right?
Yeah, this is high school. This was the first time she was ever in like the public eye, you know? And so her whole life was basically, and from her story, you know, from her telling it, her life was hijacked by news media and you know, newspapers and news broadcasting and stuff. And it hijacked her life and made her feel like the victim. And she actually goes into a lot of it saying that, you know, she doesn't think that she's a victim. She hates being called a victim. She thinks it's stupid. She doesn't even consider what she went through a hate crime, which is classified like in like the court documents as a hate crime, right? Yeah. She's saying that the people who made these phone calls were 14. They had like their first beer and
It's crazy to hear. She's like, the whole media wants to outcast them as evil people, but I see them as just, they used to be my friends in high school and they made a dumb mistake. They said some terrible things. I don't think they're racist. You know what I mean? So that was her first entrance to the public eye. So she's from Stamford, Connecticut. Okay. Stamford, Connecticut is seems like a decent town from what I can research. The median household income is $98,000. And then per capita, it's $55,000. So decent money. I mean, you know what I mean? Just average. Seems like an average town, right?
Average town.
Okay. She graduated from Stanford Public High School. That's where she went to school when all this happened. She does not have a college degree. She dropped out of college. She was going for journalism, and then she dropped out. She was a liberal, and then she got red-pilled once Trump came in office. She actually was like talking a bunch of, liberal nonsense, not liberal nonsense, but what in her opinion is liberal nonsense. And she actually wrote, she said in her degree 180 site, she wrote that, can't find where I have this.
All right.
She said, batshit crazy antics of Republican Tea Partying, adding, good news is they will eventually die off. So she was kind of like there's much more to this, what she was talking about, but my thoughts. Okay. I was wrong about Candace Owens. I think that I agree with her on a lot of things. She's not a Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro is in my opinion, a genuine conservative thinker who will synthesize his own ideas from scratch. From what I've seen from Candace Owens, she knows how to say her story in a way that gets you riled up. Like I was saying, like I wouldn't bought out American Flag because the first, you're watching her on Ben Shapiro or something, the first time you see her, and she just, what she says and how she says it with such enthusiasm, and she doesn't care about, you being mad at her, her getting in trouble or canceled. She's just unapologetic, right? Which I think
that's the name of her book, isn't it? Unapologetic?
Maybe. I don't know. But the first time you hear it, if you are like a conservative, she's doing that because if you're a conservative, you're going to be like, yes, this young black woman, she's conservative. She was lefty, she turned to the right side, and now she's saying all these awesome things that we want someone to say. And if you're on the left side, you're like, fuck her. She says all these terrible things, right?
Yeah.
So she knows how to say her story really well. And she knows how to pull information from her teachers. There's a guy named Thomas Sowell, who's a black economist, and that's like her top teacher. Basically, anytime she gives a point that you're like, that I am like, yes, I completely agree with that. That makes so much sense. She's basically regurgitating what Thomas Sowell had written in some book or, some piece, right? So she's a big student of Thomas Sowell and a lot of other actual, in my opinion, conservative thinkers who they were the ones who came up with the ideas. She's just kind of regurgitating these things. She did say she wanted to run for office, some kind of office, and she wants to run with Trump, but I doubt Trump would take her as a vice president. She's only 30 years old. She's like 32 years old.
She's a little green to be
vice president. She's pretty new. She's only been a conservative for 4 years, right? She was a liberal and then only became a conservative after Trump came in office, and everything that happened with her in her high school. She woke up in her words says she woke up and realized that her whole life was being controlled by, liberal media, public schooling, everything she knew she felt was a lie once she started diving into the conservative, ideals, right? She's like, oh my gosh, like I was always taught to be a victim. I was always taught to get handouts. I was always taught to not work hard. You know what I mean? Like from the systems, the government systems were the ones teaching her these things. So when she kind of woke up and that changed her. And then she got a YouTube channel, started making YouTube videos, really getting out there. That's how she gained her fame, right? So she started working with Charlie Kirk in 2016. I believe you know who Charlie Kirk is?
Oh, yeah.
Turning Point USA. That's where all of those Candace Owens owns liberal woke college student videos come from. That you see those 2-3 minute clips of her just crashing down on some uneducated, college kid, whatever, right? That's where I was getting my information from originally when we last episode when I was, saying, all this stuff that she was provocative and everything.
And I don't think she's mean about it.
No. I don't think
I've seen them. She's just killing these college kids.
I think that, and I've watched now the full conferences where she goes up and speaks. And I mean, she's dead on with a lot of stuff. Now, a lot of people take those and they chop them up and they make them even more inflammatory. You know what I mean? They make them sound even more intense. But so what I was saying about like her being able to just say the right things, when she repeats the stuff from these actual conservative thinkers, you're like, holy shit, I completely agree. But basically every time I hear her synthesize her own new thought, I'm like, it's a little rough. And I don't know if I agree with it completely. So I don't think she's really good at saying the things that need to be said. But when it comes to saying her own opinion, that's the only time she I don't agree with a lot of stuff that.
Did she call out the Tea Party?
Yeah, that's what this was.
Okay.
She was calling out the Tea Party. She was saying, I should have waited to read this quote, but yeah, she said this about the Tea Party. She said that they're batshit crazy antics of the Republican Tea Party. She was talking about something that they're doing. She said that it will be good that they'll all die soon.
So is that back before
that was in 2015?
Before she red pilled?
That was 2015, right before Trump came into office and she became conservative.
So I'm pretty conservative on a lot of things,
yeah.
But the Tea Party, I don't want to say it like this, but they were the progressives of the right. They were
right.
The ones
they were
going
the alt
way
right.
too far to the right. You can't go so far to the right that you're going to leave the other people that are centered right.
Kind of like what Antifa's doing with the left,
kind of like
right?
what AOC and the Squad are doing to just off-centered left Democrats.
Right.
They're just too far crazy gone.
Yeah.
So
she left. She left Turning Point, and in her words, she said she left Turning Point because she was tired of being the Candace Owens Burns woke lefty person. She wanted to grow her base and actually start making legitimate changes. That's what she said. After a little bit of research, it looks like she left Turning Point USA because she called out someone in Planned Parenthood or women's rights, abortion rights stuff, and a bunch of chapters of Turning Point started to turn on her, and they all started to quit. And so she, who's really close with Charlie Kirk, she was like, I don't want to ruin your movement. We're just not seeing eye to eye with these young people. So I'm going to step away and keep your movement alive. And I'm going to, go off and do my own. And that's when she went off and started doing her own thing.
Did you listen to? She has got her own podcast channel.
So yes, she has a YouTube channel called the Candace. It's called Candace.
Oh, I listened to it on Spotify, but okay.
Okay. Yeah. But her YouTube channel is called Candace. So when I watched, that's actually where I don't like watching her. Okay. I like watching her on the Senate. I like watching her on these other long form podcasts. I don't like watching her on Fox News, and I don't like watching her on her show because when she's on Fox News and there's only a 3-minute segment and it's her and 2 other people, they have 3 minutes to be like,
just yelling.
Here's my point, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to scream at you for 3 minutes. We're both going to scream at each other, and I'm going to say the most inflammatory things possible to get, views or whatever. That's where I don't like seeing her when she doesn't have enough time to actually, pull out her ideas and what she wants to say. And then also on her show, it's like the Lion's Den. It's like the Candace Owens Lion. If you go on that show,
Echo Chamber.
If you go in yes, exactly. If you go in the Candace show and you're against her on the views that she has, she's going to let you start talking. And the second you start trying to bring up your facts or your data, she's going to shut you down. She's going to throw her facts at you. And then the audience is going to start applauding. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit of an echo chamber thing, Dude, she went hard on George Floyd. Did you see the George Floyd monologue she has? Oh my gosh. I had never seen anybody say those things. Well, I've heard those things, but I've never heard somebody go on a 10-minute rant about shit. I think it was 20-minute rant about George Floyd. And she was just like, he's got a rap sheet. He's doing this. He's been arrested for holding people at gunpoint, all this stuff.
George Floyd held a pregnant woman at gunpoint while everybody robbed her house.
Right. So when the things that she pointed out with George Floyd, they were harsh. And I was like, hey, that's great. Those are the things that need to be in the public eye. She never once mentions the fact that he did die at the hands of police. She just goes straight into his rap sheet or whatever. But that was on the Candace Owens show. You know what I mean? That was on her show. She could say whatever she wants on there. It was pretty eye-opening to hear someone kind of lay out all the facts of they're making this guy into a martyr. They buried him in a casket of gold. And she was like, what about Ben Carson? What about all the other black conservatives that are actually, doing something in the community? And, she had that to say. And, and she's like, I'm black. I'm going to say this. I'm not going to this is my community. She's really into waking the black community. That's her main message, is like, do yourself. Everything's on your own. You're going to be your output. You know what I mean? Your input is going to show your output. And she really wants the black community to wake up and stop being left. She's like, she always says, why do you guys keep voting for these same people? They've never done anything for you. And yet you keep voting for them over and over again. And yet you complain that you live in poverty, or that this is wrong or that is wrong. So she's really vocal about that, which I really like. I'm like, hey, get in there, talk about your community. She did say, she said that just because you're black just because you're white doesn't mean you can't talk about race. She was saying that, I heard her say on the Russell Brand show, that you could be a white college professor and talk about race in a debate. And I was like, okay, highlight that.
Highlight that.
Put that
Send
into the
that
notes.
to Kelly.
So, overall, I don't want to go super deep into this stuff, but why did I blow up? I blew up because I don't know why. I was just on my period or something. I don't know. I was
that's what I thought.
A menstruating person.
Like,
I don't know why I went so hard.
You went hard on it.
I think what it is I got into my own, and this is what I shouldn't do. And it really, I hope to not do this again, but I stuck myself on a position with no evidence. And then I had to back myself because I didn't want to be embarrassed and retract my, my statements. Like, I don't know. You just do that. You know what I mean? You don't, like, it's a community thing. It's like, you don't want to look wrong. Your pride is too big, right? So my pride was being way too big. And I was just, I wanted to come here and tell you guys about this, because I was all week. I was like, God damn it. Like, I felt like an idiot then. I felt like an idiot after we were done with the podcast. And then all week I was like, God damn, I feel so stupid.
Well,
so
you know what? I was prepared for, even if you came here today and said, this is what I found on it.
Right.
You know what? There's a lot of things I like about her, but I found X, Y, Z about her too. And I've been like, okay, that's cool. I was all prepared to put my big Roman hat on to go to battle with you.
So all week.
So I did a little Candace opposition research this week, just in case for it.
Literally all week, I have been texting Kelly and messing with him, like, dude, you're not gonna believe what I found.
Sent me a picture of her and Hitler. And I have I have a clip.
From her talking about Hitler?
to retort that.
Oh, really?
The Hitler thing.
So you're ready. You came ready.
I didn't come completely ready, but I was just like, I'll let you have your own opinion. I mean, it's America.
No. So I completely agree. Like, Candace Owens is great. Now, I told you why. I told you what I want out of this. I want to be able to come more prepared for my following segments, like to come in this podcast. I really enjoyed doing the research and like knowing what I wanted to say. Like, I'm not even talking about half the things that I have here.
But you're prepared.
But I'm prepared. I could, if we wanted to talk about it. I've got a lot of stuff. Do I think that she would make a good Saturday night debate?
It depends. Now, in your defense,
right?
The AOC versus Candace Owens, that may not have been a good matchup.
Right.
I really like the Ilman Maher versus Ben Shapiro.
I think, and they could talk about Judaism
versus
and being a Muslim, right? And Islam, right? So. I think they could talk about that. I think Candace Owens could do some Saturday night debate, but honestly, I would rather Al Sharpton. I would rather listen to, not Al Sharpton, I'd rather listen to this Thomas Sowell guy that she is a huge believer in. I wish we had him to talk on Saturday night debate. You know what I mean? But I think Candace Owens could do Saturday night debate. I would watch it. So that's my Candace Owens.
Cool, man.
So do a little research.
You know what else?
Don't be afraid to say you're wrong.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And I kind of wanted to demonstrate that. I'm not afraid to be like, I was an idiot. I was wrong.
I'm bad at that too.
Yeah. We all are. That's a very rare thing for people to come back and especially shit on a podcast. Like, I'm not trying to talk myself up here, but like, it's not easy for me to get on here and be like, yeah, even though this was kind of a simple thing, you know what I mean? To come on here and be like, yeah, I was wrong. Fuck me. Like, I get it. I literally was going to bring an egg and crack it on my face and be like, got egg on my face. I thought that'd get a little messy, but.
You know who else is getting red pilled right now?
Who?
Bill Maher.
Dude, Bill Maher. Okay, because he's done. He's done with he's done with all this. He's done with all the woke, but he's been done with all the woke stuff for a long time.
Did you see, I saw a thing with him that said, all you people out there wanting a civil war, all you people on the left, did you see that clip?
No.
He's like, all you leftists wanting a civil war,
Right.
you don't. You'll lose. These are people with guns who know how to use guns, who go hunting and have ammo. You'll lose. You know?
Yeah.
And I think
I don't think I've heard any left people talking about they want a civil war though.
Yeah.
Like
No,
I've
nobody
only heard
wants a civil war.
I don't want anyone. I think it's become in the zeitgeist like talking about the zombie apocalypse. Like
I totally want that though.
everybody says they want it, and I heard this this psychologist talking about it about why we want a civil war or why we want the zombie apocalypse, and it's because actually right now the general population is more controlled by different systems than humans have ever been controlled. You could be a freaking, average person in Egypt in ancient times, and your life is less controlled than it is today. Because back then, all you had to do, if you were hungry, go work. If you wanted to build a house, go build a house. If you wanted to do X, Y, and Z, you just did it. No one was telling you had to be here Monday through Friday. Now we've got public school. Your boss is in charge of you. Your parents are in charge of you. The government's in charge of you.
gotta go get a
Social media is
permit.
in charge of you. You got to go to the DMV and get a license. You got everything about our lives is controlled and governed by some system. And that's why we want a zombie apocalypse, because we're like, I'd be free, motherfucker. Like, I would go and do whatever I want. I'd shoot that guy and we go to this store and do this,
I would be down with a zombie apocalypse if we could do it for like 1 year.
Kind of like COVID.
Like, yeah. It's like, all right, hey, Christmas is coming
Yeah,
around.
yeah.
Let's turn the power back on, everybody.
I think, yeah, you'd want it for a brief time, but once because the initial hit where everyone's like trying to figure out their resource, that's the game. We like trying to be like,
Oxycontin.
what would you do to get your resources and how would you survive? We like playing that, but then it's like, okay, how are you going to rebuild society? Rebuilding society from scratch is a lot harder than what resources are you going to get in the first year, right?
I watch a lot of zombie movies.
I
and
wanted to
shows.
watch that one on Netflix. The new one, Zombie Land, Zombie War, Army of the Dead.
I haven't seen that one. Maybe I have.
I think he told me to watch it.
I think I did see it. But no, in all the zombie movies I watch, you know what the currency of the future is?
What is it, Kelly?
Oxycontin.
Oh yeah, drugs all the way.
Drugs.
Alcohol and drugs.
Ammo.
Actually, in my in one of my further segments, I have a little goof video about what we need to stock up on. So we'll get.
We do need to start. I've thought about that actually.
We'll get to that. So that's my Candace Owens.
All right.
Candace, I'm
Hey.
really sorry if you're watching this video. Thank you for watching the video. But I'm sorry that I talked a lot of shit and didn't know what I was saying.
good.
So now I'm researched and I'm Team Candace, but I'm not Team Candace. I'm skeptical of Candace, but at the same time, I appreciate what she's saying. I think she's out there for a good cause. I think she's trying to wake people up. She's got to say what she's got to say to get on TV.
So this definitely Chance, maybe you, but this is might be your 4-year news cycle where you've paid attention a lot to politics.
From Trump to where we are today. Yeah,
Okay.
this is the first
so
time.
think
I've done
about the
4 years.
year before Trump, back when COVID started, right? Everything was BLM, right?
What do you mean? Hold on. So what
The
year?
Democrats, they
When?
were all about
Before Trump?
before the Joe Biden Trump election.
Yes. Yeah.
The year before, it was all BLM.
everything.
Democrats
Yeah,
were like, we got to do this, we got to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, Joe Biden wins.
Yeah. Go away. Thank you, useful idiot.
Okay, now, so next election's 2024.
Right.
About 2023.
Right. You're gonna
Guess
start
who's
seeing-
going to start coming back around?
Right. You're gonna start
And the
seeing,
same people fall for
Yeah.
it every time.
because I can guarantee that some shit has gone down with cops. Probably. You know what I mean? Not like that fit that BLM motive, but they're not. It's not reaching the news cycle right now. It's not hitting front page news because it's not needed at the moment. So for the ruling class, they're like, we don't really care about this at the moment.
Yeah.
But come back to us in the midterms. I think wait till the midterms. The midterms are going to be
Oh God, it's going to be a bloodbath.
crazy. It's going to be crazy.
Did you see the Virginia? Today's October 30th, 2021. The Virginia governors are up for election on Tuesday. Did you know that?
Oh, really?
And Virginia's been a hardcore Democratic state for
And
20 years.
Yeah.
Like,
It might go red.
so last week they were neck to neck. And during the debate, Terry McAuliffe, I believe the governor's name is, during the debate, he said something to the effect that parents should not need to worry about what schools are teaching children.
I have a segment on that today.
Oh, do you?
I do.
Okay. Well, not to
Yeah.
We'll
Go ahead.
move on.
No, go ahead. No, sure. Talk about
So
it.
the
Okay.
Republican
Who cares?
challenger came out yesterday, 8 points up in the poll.
Oh, really? Man, what's going on over there is
Dude.
crazy stuff, and I got even more crazy stuff to talk about. And Virginia is the hot spot right now. Virginia is hot in terms of schools.
We'll get there.
Yeah, let's get there. What Kelly, let's do your first segment. What do you got?
Who's your favorite NBA basketball team?
The basketball team? I don't know. I guess the Mavs. I don't watch any
I'm a huge
basketball.
Laker fan. Well, I used to be.
I know you're a huge Laker fan.
Not anymore. I hate.
Keep talking. I'm gonna take my
go.
backpack off.
Anyways, did you see this guy from the Boston Celtics?
No.
Chance? He's from Turkey. I can't pronounce his name. I don't remember his name very well. But he's from Turkey.
Just
right?
like you can't pronounce any of the battles from the ancient times.
That's true. He's from Turkey, and so he's been very outspoken against the Turkish government. We good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Your video won't pull up.
Why not?
I don't know.
Oh,
Won't pull up.
The Twitter. It's him.
Well, neither did your fishing.
Pause this real quick.
Yeah, go ahead and pause the video real quick, and we'll get this set up. All right, we're back. Sorry
Okay.
about that.
No.
So we got this
guy's-
video.
This guy, his name's Enes Kanter. He's a center for the Celtics.
What does the center do in football or basketball?
Center? Football, he hikes the ball to the quarterback. In basketball, he's the tallest guy usually on the court.
The cutest guy on the court.
Tallest.
Usually the cutest too.
All right. So he's Turkish. He grew up in Turkey. And
Okay,
he's very
yeah.
outspoken to the Turkish government.
Okay, so
to the point that they've taken away his passport.
really,
Yeah.
So the tweet says Tibet belongs to the Tibetan people. This is a hot.
So this is 2 minutes and 46 seconds, but I think we should listen to it all.
Okay, sure. Yeah, go ahead.
It is him calling out China.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, hardcore. Just listen to it. Go ahead and play it, Chance.
The opposite of John Cena.
Yes.
My message to the Chinese government is free Tibet. Tibet belongs to Tibetans. I'm here to add my voice and speak out about what is happening in Tibet. Under the Chinese government's brutal rule, Tibetan people's basic rights and freedoms are not existent.
You're not going to win that battle,
They are
buddy.
not allowed to study and learn their language and culture freely. They are not allowed to travel freely. They are not allowed to access information freely. The Tibetan people are not even allowed to worship freely.
Pause this real
For
quick.
more than
Pause this real
70
quick.
years.
So that's how you control the population, right? You no longer, because China wants to make everybody Chinese. They want to make everybody, the Chinese government is God, right? So they want to remove their language. They don't want them to learn their language because that gives them a piece of identity. They don't want them to learn how to read their language or, practice their religion because that gives you an outlet to be an individual. And the Chinese government does not like that. Go ahead.
Tibetan monks, nuns, intellectuals, writers, poets, community leaders, activists, and many more have been detained, sent to political re-education classes, subject to torture, lengthy interrogations, and even been executed simply for exercising the freedom that you and I take for granted. There have been more than 5,000 political prisoners in Tibet the last 25 years. 5,000. Did you know that simply owning a photo of the Dalai Lama in Tibet is grounds for arrest? Even flying the Tibetan national flag could get you arrested. I say, shame on the Chinese government. The Chinese dictatorship is erasing Tibetan identity
That's right.
and culture.
It's crazy.
The cultural genocide in Tibet is so stifling that more than 150 Tibetan people have burned themselves alive, hoping
150?
such a
150
horrific
burn
act
themselves alive.
of sacrifice will raise awareness and attention towards the ongoing abuses within Tibet. After learning all of this, I cannot stay silent. I stand with my Tibetan brothers and sisters, and I support their calls for freedom. The communist ideology of China has been around for only about 100 years, but Buddhist civilization, ideology, and philosophy has been around for thousands of years. Only the Tibetan people should decide the future of Tibet. 100%. Tibet belongs to the Tibetan people, and I hope and believe Tibet will achieve independence. Brutal dictator of China, Xi Jinping, I have a message for you and your henchmen. I will say it again, again, and again, loud and clear. I hope you hear me. Free Tibet, free Tibet, free Tibet.
Wow.
Okay.
So, quick question.
Okay.
Did he get kicked off his team?
No.
Okay, good. Because the NBA and China are in bed right now.
So how much money do you think the NBA makes a year in China?
Anywhere from I want to say in the billions, and I want to say that they make 30 billion.
4 billion last year.
Okay, four. Okay, so I didn't know the scale, but
Like-
yeah, I knew billions.
So
And it's only growing. It's only going to grow.
So what do you think? The NBA did nothing after this to him. Thank God.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, good for them.
What do you think China did?
They probably canceled his whole entire life.
China, where's it at? Blacklisted the Boston Celtics
From being viewed in China.
In China.
Yeah, sure. Any game with the Boston Celtics, which then screws over all the other teams that play the Celtics, right?
Yeah. So this happened a couple years ago too.
Yes.
The general manager of the Rockets, trying to find his name here.
The coach, right? Yeah, the general manager.
Anyways, he tweeted out, "Fight for freedom, stand with Hong Kong," back in 2019.
Right.
And the NBA was like, whoa. They went into complete damage control because the Houston Rockets are one of China's favorite teams because they had Yao Ming from China.
Oh, okay. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah,
They used to have Yao Ming,
Of course.
so they were
So they were like the number one team. They were like the home team, right? Because they had the Chinese guy.
the Houston Rockets were blacklisted from the Chinese Basketball Association, like scouts and stuff.
Yeah.
The Chinese sportswear brand Li-Ning, it's like their big thing over there. Nope.
Got rid of all of that stuff.
Their Chinese club sponsorship. So a lot of these teams have like minor league clubs over there for player development. Got rid of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, so quick question. Does the Boston Celtics in China, do they view the American Boston Celtics on TV? And then do they have a Boston Celtics in China that plays, like a division of their team?
Well, they have like
because that's probably ass to watch, by the way.
I don't know if they're associated with
yeah,
them.
yeah, okay.
But they have like
Licensing's
they'll have like I want to say like think like the Allen Americans.
Right.
They're a minor league team to
the
Minnesota Wild, right? So I think they have like a minorship deal, development deals with people over there.
Well, so, H&M and Forever 21 did that too, right? When they came out a couple months ago and said that they were no longer going to they were only going to source cotton from vendors that they could verify weren't coming from like inhumane practices. In China, stopped selling H&M and they stopped selling Forever 21 or whatever the companies were. And then those companies were like, just kidding. they retracted, right? The problem is that, and I assume you already know about this, right? It's just the sheer number of people that are in China makes China such a market that these companies want to get into. But we're so stupid because we're being so greedy that we want all these CEOs and these corporations, they want that money from China because just of the raw size of China. The problem is, dude, once you get into bed with China, you have to bend to the will of the Chinese government. Every single thing in China is owned and controlled by the government in some form or the other. And so the NBA is just in a really weird spot. Same thing with the Fast and the Furious movies, right, with John Cena. He came out and started speaking Mandarin to apologize to the Chinese people for saying Taiwan was a country. So it's crazy.
So this is pretty good. They're actually, as from what I've seen so far, the NBA is like, all right, just, But back in 2019, when the very first time this happened with the Houston Rockets guy, they went full John Cena on it.
Right, the NBA did, right?
So like the Rockets owner, he tweeted out that Maher, the coach, did not speak for the team.
Right.
James Harden, who's one of the premier NBA players, apologized.
Probably sells the most jerseys in China, right?
I think he played for the Rocks at the time. He's like, we apologize. We love China here.
That's insane. Isn't that insane to hear? Like American citizens being like, we love China. We're just kidding. Freedom sucks. We love China. Like that's what you got to think, right?
Yeah.
They're literally saying freedom sucks. America was wrong. China is right.
And so, like even Adam Silver, the NBA commissioner back in 2019, his comments were it's regrettable, and he acknowledged that the NBA had deeply offended many of our friends and fans in China. We have great respect for the history and culture of China and hope that the sport and NBA can be used as a unifying force.
Who said that?
The NBA commissioner.
In 2019. Not now. This is new, though.
Yeah.
When did that tweet go out?
That was
When did that video come out? Last week? So I wonder if they're either preparing to say something.
But boy, where's all these woke people at? Come on. Free Tibet. What happened?
Free Tibet. Right, exactly. You don't want to, until their people tell them to get enraged about Tibet, they're not going to get enraged about Tibet. Dude, what's happening in Tibet is insane. China literally has a second Dalai Lama, right? They have there's the chosen Dalai Lama, and then there's China's Dalai Lama.
My experience is a Brad Pitt movie called 7 Years in Tibet, so I don't really know. Pretty good movie. You should watch it.
Okay. Is it like 7?
No, it's just the opposite. I think he becomes friends with the Dalai Lama as a child.
That's nice.
Anyways.
As a child.
That's just that's like if I was a super famous athlete, dude, I wouldn't. If they'd ask me a political question, I'd be like, yeah, I'm here to play football.
Right. And that's how it used to be.
That's how it should be.
That's how it should be. Yeah, exactly. Like people they tune into sports and we tune into these things to get away from the bullshit. But we're applauding this guy for bringing politics into the matter. So, you know what I mean? It's, I just don't like that we're bending to the will of communists is the thing. China is crazy, dude. The stuff that China's doing on every single front, cybersecurity, logistics, hypersonic missiles that travel around the world.
We got to deep dive that next week.
Yeah, that's scary.
Sure about that,
Chance?
I
did not.
Yeah. So we didn't even know that happened. We had to confirm after a day or two, right? That's what happened. And China's like, it's just a spaceship. BS, that thing traveled the world in a couple minutes.
We have them too. So.
Well, yeah, we just also tested our brand new one as well. That's so scary, man. I hate the ramping up. You have to do it. You do. You have to do it because China's doing it as well. And if you if we do believe in being in America and we do believe in the ideals of America, my name is Carter.
He's called me Carter and Connor.
Yeah. But if you believe in those values, you do. I don't like the military industrial complex. I always talk shit about it. I'm always like, what a lot of things we do are bad, but at the same time, it's like, okay, well, if China's building a hypersonic missile, we need to build one too, because if we care about freedom.
I'm pretty sure we built ours first. They stole the technology.
Probably. Wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it if a U.S. engineer sent them the plans on how to do it. I mean.
But there you go. It's like LeBron James. He'll talk all this mad shit about George Floyd and
right. But then China.
Well, when,
the Hong Kong protest.
When cops get shot.
Yeah.
Where you at?
Right.
That's why you just keep your mouth quiet. Just
stay in your lane, dude.
Stay in your lane.
Play some basketball. People love you because they play basketball. We don't love you. We did not vote for you to tell us, to lead us to, the only reason you're famous is because you're really good at basketball. You're not famous because you have a great opinion. You don't have well thought out thoughts. You're not well researched like me. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Yeah. It's like, dude, I saw Johnny Cash one time in an interview. This was like an old tape or something. They were like, Mr. Cash, what do you think about the president? And he's like, I'm just a singer. I'm just an average person like you. That should be the general response from everybody. If you're in the public eye because you're famous, because you're an actor or a singer or an artist or whatever, be famous for that reason. That's the only reason you're famous. We didn't elect to hear your opinion. I hate that because Taylor Swift has 30 million people following her or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And so she thinks, oh, well, that means I can just bolster whatever I want. I can say whatever I want, and my opinion is more valid because I have more people following me. No. We're only following you because you make good songs written by other people,
Exactly. I think she writes her own songs, actually.
Yeah, I mean, she has a whole production team and everything. What's that? Talk to us, Chance.
I'm telling you. They, who knows?
Who knows, man?
Just stay in your lane, athletes, people.
I know I've talked about China a few times on this podcast. China scares me. I'm not afraid or whatever, but they're just doing so much stuff, and it's so scary that we're the ones talking about it. You know what I mean? I'm like afraid that there's not enough uproar from everyone in our government should be talking about China, not as we should be talking about them as an adversary. I know Joe Biden's like, we need to be competitors. That's what he's saying. We need to be competitors. And that's what we really need to be. We need to be like, okay, let's have a free market, but the rules that China plays by are not the rules that we play by. So then...
You sound like Donald Trump right now.
The rules that China plays by are half free market, half communism. And we're all free market. So they get the power and the resources of the Communist Party, but then also want to do business with us, and then they get the upper hand. And it's scary shit, dude. I don't know what's going to happen. So I'm depressed now.
But you know what's going to make you feel better?
What's going to make me feel better?
The new segment.
What's our new segment?
Chance's Corner.
Chance's Corner.
Chance. Ooh, we got
a nice ring to it.
We got to have a little like...
Chance gets his very first segment. Are you ready? Are you nervous?
I'm not nervous.
He's nervous. I can tell it in his mullet.
In my mullet.
His mullet is sweating.
It's giving those vibes. I think it's too cold to sweat right now.
Do you know who Grizzly Adams is?
I do, yeah.
You look like Grizzly Adams.
Chance, you're wearing
I take
flannel
that as a
on
compliment.
flannel right now, and I love that.
Are you a lesbian?
Pretty much, yeah.
You kind of look like a lesbian right now.
I guess it fits. I do like women, so...
Last night I didn't want to say it, but when we were at Thai food, and Chance was eating his food, I was going to grab my napkin and start wiping his brow off. He was getting super
He said on
sweaty.
the way home, he's like, I was sweating. It was so hot.
I was watching him eat his food, and he's like just getting sweatier and sweatier. I was like...
Dude, it was so spicy.
I think they messed that up because I usually get a level 5 out of 7.
Yeah.
And mine wasn't that spicy.
Yeah.
You guys get level 2, and you guys were dying over there.
I wasn't dying. My food... Actually,
Mine was a 3.
Mine was a little bit spicier than normal. That's not a very... They don't have that down to a science because I'm like level 2 and sometimes it's burning me. And then other times
like, level 2,
Yeah,
level
level
5, they're all the same.
level 2 is relative. That's Italian.
I don't know what. I
Don't even try a Thai accent.
I'm not even going to try the Thai.
No, that's what I was doing. The whole time I was taking my napkin, wipe my forehead, wipe my mouth.
Go for another bite.
Yeah. I was like, I'm going to eat this fast and just get it over with.
Cleared your plate, though. I'm proud of you.
What do you got, Chance?
Chance's Corner. What's up, bud?
So I was looking into these different topics, and what I chose, let me find it.
Wow, so prepared.
Wow. You are the guy controlling this.
Well, it's not in our notes.
Yeah, pull it up in the messages. Is
I got it now.
Okay, go ahead.
So, I'm trying to think how to put this. Whenever COVID started, obviously I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Senior year got canceled. Sports got canceled. Everything got canceled.
Right.
So I was reading these texts that were supposedly sent to CNN about
From who?
just like random people,
Okay.
teenagers
Okay.
in high school during COVID.
Okay.
And this one really stood out to me because it doesn't seem real.
Okay.
So this was sent from a 17-year-old girl in Washington. It says, the pandemic has caused me to see death all around me, with thousands of people dying every day. First off, the survival rate of COVID is, 99 or 97, whatever percent it was. It's up there.
What is she traveling around the country
saying.
to hospital to hospital?
Yeah. Now that's the first sentence of this text.
Okay.
Then it picks back up with the realization that I can't do anything about it besides following the safety guidelines that they have put out for me. I've experienced many nights of wishing I could do something more for those who were affected by this virus, and at the same time becoming more and more mad at people who are not taking the virus seriously. I have these thoughts every day, obscuring me from fully focusing on myself and my education. That's how the pandemic has affected me, taking me away from what it's truly like to be a teenager in high school. I'm angry, grieving, and just downright scared. As a teenager, I shouldn't be worrying about what I can do for the collapsing world around me. I should be living a normal life. The pandemic has taken that chance away from me and every teenager on this planet.
That sounds fake. That sounds like someone's mom wrote that for them.
Yeah.
That sounds like CNN wrote that for them.
Yeah.
know?
So do you think like CNN like set up some sort of hotline that you can text in and like we can get your feedback on like what's going on?
Yeah. So there was a couple different messages. That's the one I chose.
Yeah, of course.
The next one was like 2 sentences long.
Mm-hmm.
using, text abbreviations. He spelled cuz, C-U-Z. And the CNN has this posted.
LOL, CNN, what up, cuz? No cap.
It literally said, like, COVID sucks. I can't do anything because the guidelines.
Because the guidelines.
That's the next message down from that one.
Gotcha.
So, as being a teenager during COVID.
Right.
I would say 95% of the teenagers did not stop anything that they were doing.
They kept being kids.
I was going to ask you, you were a senior in high school?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was the
2020. You were a junior.
Going into the last quarter of my senior year.
Right. Okay. So that January when everything started shutting down, that was your January of senior year.
Yeah.
Right.
How did it affect you?
Literally, the only thing it changed was we didn't go to school like the last 3 months.
Mm-hmm. Dude, that would have been awesome.
But what my school did was if you had good grades, you didn't have to go to online school.
What?
You were done.
That's Jeffco for you. What?
All the online school was for, like, basically if you're a senior.
Pull that mic up to you a little bit.
Basically, if you're a senior and you're failing,
then
you could do online school to boost your grade. But anything you did in online school did not hurt your grade. You could only boost it.
The public schooling, and I'm going to be talking about this, but that is so bullshit. And I hear about, like, Madison and, like, the school that they all went to. You could be failing so hardcore, and they're like, let's give you some makeup hours, and if you finish these worksheets, we'll bump your grade up to a B. And it's like, what about the kids who studied hard? There needs to be this, if you're failing, you're failing. If you're passing, you're passing. Like, there can't be all these, like, it just ruins the whole education system. What are you actually learning? You know what I mean? Like, so you had to do online school.
I did not.
So you just stopped going to school.
Yeah. So February 2020, it was either late February, beginning of March, somewhere in there. They canceled school.
Right.
I stopped going to school my senior year, the end of February, beginning of March.
Wow.
Did not go back. Wasn't supposed to graduate until May.
That's crazy.
So I didn't do the last 3-4 months of school.
That's insane, dude. That's crazy. Like, you just like,
gave him time to organize the 6th annual meth cookout.
I wish you would have spent that time getting ready for this podcast. No, but that text message is crazy, man. Like, someone's mom wrote that. Because that sounds like every headline you could possibly put together into a single text message. I followed the guidelines, and I'm so scared. I'm seeing thousands of people die. Dude,
I haven't seen one person die.
I haven't seen one person die.
Neither have I.
Not saying that there weren't people that did die.
I've heard of people. I don't know personally anybody who had died.
I've heard of
I know
one
people
person.
of know people.
I've heard one person that knows someone that died.
But there's a difference of dying from COVID and dying with COVID.
Right. That's very true. That is a very true statement.
But you know how it affected my life? Not at all. I didn't miss one day of work.
I didn't either.
Actually, and I'm going to, again, something else I'm going to bring up. It's so funny how all of our topics, like, I feel like they like line up, like go together. But I bought a house during the, I took all my stimulus money, all the stimulus checks, and I bought a house. So thanks, government, for helping me buy a house. That was cool. But the whole, dude, we've caused so many issues.
I bought a bunch of stocks that were dirt cheap during what I did.
I seriously, like, we messed up this country in so many fundamental ways because of coronavirus, our reaction to coronavirus. And again, I've been saying this a lot. If the coronavirus had a mortality rate of even 2, 3%, 10%. At 10%, there would be no time to turn coronavirus into a political football, right? But because it was actually such a low mortality rate and people weren't actually dying at these rates, they could start spinning it and twisting it and doing what they want to get their political advantage. But dude, if you really were seeing thousands of people die every day, this would not be some sort of joke. You know what I mean? We would know if the pandemic was legit. Not saying it wasn't legit, but we would know if the pandemic was legit if I knew 10 people that died.
Yeah.
And every single person knew 10 people that died or whatever, whatever that number is. Because and then no one would have time to dick around. It would be like we would know exactly what masks do. We would know about the vaccine. We would all, we would actually come together. You know what I mean? I think all the politicalness, all the left versus right bullshit would go away if you were like, I know for a fact you are at risk of dying, and I'm at risk of dying.
See, I think you and Madison had the appropriate response to it.
Yeah.
You guys were scared shitless for about 2-3 weeks.
Well, yeah, the world was telling us that
Yes.
this thing. I was scared in November. I came home in November when I was hearing about it happening in China a couple months before, and it was just brewing in China. And I came home in a panic one day, and I was like, "Massive, we need to go get masks. We need to get masks. We need to get food." And she was like, "Oh, calm down." I'm like, "No. This thing is going to come here, and it's going to be crazy." Because we didn't know the science behind it, The Chinese were killing and imprisoning the doctors trying to talk about it, and like.
But you guys were like 2-3 weeks. You were like, oh my God, da da da.
Yeah, watching the news and
I'm sitting over here like, what are you doing? Let's go to the bar tonight.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't give a rat's ass about
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
It's
You
and
were
then
a little too lenient, in my opinion, from the
Yes,
beginning.
I
Because
was.
if I was because I was worried about it at the beginning, and then I started seeing the research. I started seeing the data from my dumb brain. I'm not a professional, but from what I was seeing and what I was reading, I was like, oh, this is a new disease, but it's not what they're saying it is. But I played it safe because if it was that 10% mortality rate, we would have been somewhat safer than your dumb ass, because if it was 10% mortality rate, you'd be fucking dead.
I was still going to work every day. I mean, I didn't have a choice.
Yeah. You say you still have people in your office who are pretty COVID up, or they're kind of dropping off on it?
Kind of all. I got one who's
Yeah.
But he's like not wearing a mask anymore. He'll go out to lunch.
Oh, that's
and
good.
Stuff.
Yeah, I still have a couple of people in my office who wear masks when we get into meetings and stuff. And hey, you know what? If that's what makes you feel comfortable,
what
that's
you
fine.
wanna do it.
They're not shoving it down my throat. I'm not shoving
Absolutely.
it down their throat. We've had healthy discussions about it before, just in passing or whatever. But we're not mad at each other.
Nah,
we're not
that's
trying,
how it should be.
And that's how it should be. The reason that we have so much issues is because literally, first off, government is trying to overreach. They're like, oh, this is a great opportunity for us to overreach, and then people are like, fuck you, you're killing my grandma. I was like, I don't care,
I almost did a segment this week. I saw a video of this guy laid out the flu cases over the last 10 years.
Okay.
And they were like U.S. flus, 3 million, they were over the last 10 years. They were all like 3 million, going up to 4 million,
Right.
back down to 3. And they got to 2020, it was 2,000.
Right.
It's not the flu anymore.
It's not the flu.
Where's all those flus?
Exactly. It's the flu.
Yeah.
So, or it isn't. I don't know.
Who knows?
know.
I know.
Anyways, good job, Chance.
Good job, Chance. That's
Sorry
interesting.
you had to not go to school. Oh, he was loving it. Oh, I'm done.
Did you
Okay.
enjoy not going to school? You were like, fuck yeah, I'm done. This was
Were
stupid.
you
Or
allowed,
were you
were you
mad?
allowed to leave your house and go do things with your buddies and stuff?
So like after like the first week or two,
They were like, okay.
because mom
Just
was pretty strict about it.
She works in
At first.
healthcare, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then like after 2 weeks, she was kind of like, just be safe, wear your mask.
When was the last time you wore a mask?
Oh, God, I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
I mean, I went to Mexico.
Oh,
in
when I go
August.
I still go to the pediatricians for CJ. And
Yeah, yeah.
actually, I don't think I wear a mask at the pediatrician's office. They're not wearing them. My doctors, yeah, I don't think my doctors are wearing masks. So, I do have to wear a mask because when I walk into the hospital, because my pediatrician is in the hospital, so I have to walk into the hospital. They have to put a wristband and they go, "Have you been around COVID?" I'm like, "No." "Have you traveled?" "No." "Okay. You're clean. You're good."
We have
And then-
stickers for that at work.
Oh, really?
Whenever we were on the last job, we had to fill out a paper every day and get a different colored sticker for our hard hats.
Really? So Monday you were clean, Tuesday you were clean, Wednesday they have to check you every day. Do they do like a temperature check, or they just ask you? They just say like.
No, the foreman said that they were going to do that, but they never did. We just fill out the paperwork.
Sometimes on the job sites, they get everyone in the circle and they're like, "All right, guys, we're going to talk about safety. Don't chop your arm off.
Yeah.
Get to work." And they're like, "Check the OSHA mark. You're good." Yeah, so that's funny. So I'm still reading the climate change book.
Okay.
I've got a small update on the climate change book, guys.
Uh-oh.
So I'm still finding it interesting. I'm learning a lot about like how things are made. I don't know how I feel about the climate change and like what is going to happen.
This is Bill Gates?
This is the Bill Gates. Yes, this is what I talked about on the last episode. This is the Bill Gates, how to avoid a climate disaster, the innovations in technology breakthroughs we need. That's the title. And I don't know how I feel about climate change completely. I think we talked about it. Yeah, don't play that just yet.
Yeah, I'm trying to
I don't know how I feel about it completely. It is interesting learning about different technologies and things that are coming about. No, again, still have only found unicorn technologies that have not been proven. Okay. And it's just interesting to learn, like, everything around us is made from fossil fuels. Everything you guys see around us is made from fossil fuels, up to that new Joe Rogan where the guy's talking about Monsanto's and Coca-Cola. He's saying that Coca-Cola, one of the ingredients in Coca-Cola is made from fossil fuels. Like, everything around us is made from fossil fuels in some way, shape, or form, whether it's the energy to make it, the actual thing itself, the way that it's transported. So I haven't found any legitimate solutions to our climate change problems per se, except for one.
You could do what we did in the 80s. Just
Ignore it.
So one solution that Bill Gates does give that is tested and proven. Can you guys guess what it is?
less people.
No.
Oh, less cows.
It's government regulation.
No.
Government regulation
crazy.
is
Stop
what we
it.
need to do to stop the climate change. So government regulation is what I've read is the first thing. There are a couple he's talking about, like I said, the carbon capture, but to actually put enough carbon capture out there, you would need so much that it's infeasible and no one's doing it.
Why don't we just grow more trees?
And I'm like, Bill Gates, why instead of writing a book, why don't you put all that money into building those carbon capture devices that you're talking about so much? Because every book or every chapter he's talking about, okay, well, cars, here's how we would solve that. Or we could extract the carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere. Well, go do it. Go do it. You're the richest man in the world. Go do it. If you're so concerned with it, go do it. He does talk about these things called green premiums. So it's basically the calculation of what it would cost to transition to a green, efficient, climate positive source of energy. And so he talks about the green premiums, like what it would cost the average person to get to that. So like, let's say you're using gas, right? Just regular gas for your car. He's like, this is what it would cost to move to bio-efficient fuels. And it's always like, oh, it will be a 400% increase on the price of what you're paying now. So if gas is already $3.
People are bitching at $3.
Right. Yeah. Try to go to the green premium of 300 to 400% higher than what it is currently. You know what I mean? So still have not found anything, but government regulations is the
answer for everything.
The answer. So if we're really going to get stuff going, he says, we need to start implementing. He says in the last chapter that I just read, he says in the next chapter, we're really going to dive into the government regulations that I believe need to be put in place. So next week, I'll give you guys what those government regulations are. But Biden
there's our fearless leader.
Is this up on the screen?
Yep.
Okay, so this Biden gave a speech the other day about, it says Biden delivers remarks on the new framework for the social spending bill, which again, I'll talk about in another segment. So I just wanted to pull out this one part where he's talking about the green initiatives that are going to be put into this spending bill. Go ahead and hit play.
And we'll do it in ways that grow the domestic industries, create good paying union jobs, address long-standing environmental injustices as well.
Environmental injustices.
Tax credit to help people do things like weatherize their homes so they use less energy. Install solar panels and develop clean energy products. And help business produce more clean energy. And when paired with the bipartisan infrastructure bill, we will truly transform this nation. Historic investments in passenger rail. I know everybody says, oh, Biden's a rail guy. That's true.
Biden's a rail guy.
Passenger rail and freight rail and public transit. It's going to take hundreds of thousands of vehicles off the road, saving millions of barrels of oil. Everybody knows, all the studies show, if you can get from point A to point B on electric rail, you won't drive your car.
Duh.
You'll take the rail service.
Take that rail service, Mr. Biden.
We also learned that in most major cities in America, minority populations, the jobs they used to have in town, they're now out of town. Roughly 60% of the folks, they don't have vehicles, so they need to have a means to get out of town.
This has a purpose.
To their jobs, to be on time. This will do that, like it did for Detroit. 95% of the 840,000 school buses in America run on diesel.
Okay.
Every day, more than 25 million children.
I should have grabbed it. Go ahead and pause this.
I think Detroit
he's gonna continue on.
Detroit is a good example to use for anything.
I should have grabbed a closer. I don't want to sit here and just listen to him talk.
Thank you. I was like,
so don't worry. Those are all the things that are going to be in this spending bill, right? Okay. First off, solar. In this book I'm reading, solar will only get to 30% efficient. So it's actually a really inefficient way to generate electricity. If it's cloudy, you're not generating electricity. Wind, if it's not windy, you're not generating electricity. But he goes on to say that the new spending bill will potentially remove 1 billion tons of CO2 equivalents out of the atmosphere every year by 2030. Okay, so I think that's what he was about to get into, but 1 billion tons of CO2 equivalents. That's a lot, right? That's a lot. A billion tons?
A billion of anything's a lot, I guess.
1 ton is a lot, right? So a billion tons is a lot, right?
I don't know.
Okay.
Well,
how much
does gas weigh?
How much? No, it's the CO2. It's
how much does CO2 weigh? How much is a billion tons? What is that? All our CO2 in the world?
I think it's like particles. Let's say, I don't think because ton is just 2,000, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's saying like that measurement. I think it's.
I can't wrap my brain around that.
Yeah, right. No,
a billion tons of air is a lot of.
So when you
air.
I forget the term because I've been out of chemistry for a while, but there's a unit of measurement for every compound, and it's one of these measurements. So I'm just going to assume that one measurement of CO2 is the equivalent, and then you have a ton of that, and then you have a billion tons of that. Okay, so a billion's a lot. How much CO2 do we make every single year?
A billion tons.
57 billion tons a year. We make 57
The human race.
The human race. The world produces 57 billion tons of CO2 equivalents every single year, and this plan potentially removes 1 billion of it, and it won't start happening until 2030. So from today,
I see where you're going.
So from 2021 to 2030, we'll be producing 9 times 57 billion tons, and then we're only going to remove 1 billion of that ton a year. It would take us a millennia, more than that. It would literally be infinite how long it would take to remove that by that rate. Like the actual
we would never catch up.
And so that's what reading this book is super scary, because you're like, okay, well, if Bill Gates is right, we're fucked. Like if what he's saying in that amount of carbon is actually going to cause these crazy disasters, climate disasters or whatever, what are you going to do? You're going to shut down the world? You're not going to shut down the world.
I don't want to put you on the spot here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Of the 57 billion tons a year, how much does the United States create?
So I don't want to pull up my book. I actually have the book with me, but
just guess.
So I think the United States produces, I would say, like 1/3, 1/4, like a quarter of all the emissions, and then there's China, Russia, India, and Europe. So I guess 1/5. Let's just say that we produce 1/5 of the. So if you've got the major nations, you got United States, India, Europe, China, and Russia. That's 5 major countries that are producing the vast majority of the.
Okay, so that are you giving everybody an equal 20%?
Okay, yeah.
Because that's not the case. Because
no, it's not.
China is probably 40-50% of that.
No, the way that you break it down, I don't know the exact, but those are the countries that are doing it. China right now is producing a ton of it. They're producing so much concrete, so much carbon equivalents out there. It's insane. Bill Gates even says, in this last chapter that I read, he was talking about, India and China have said that they're going to reduce their carbon by 2030. He's like, Shenzhen has all electric buses, just like Biden was just talking about, right? One city of 20 million people, Shenzhen, has all buses, electric buses. That's awesome. I could not find anywhere online the document saying that China says they're going to reduce their emissions policy. Their emissions.
That's the problem.
Output.
That's what, for me, that's always been the problem.
And what's really crazy is like, okay, what's the highest emissions?
What's the highest?
Yeah, what sector emits the most emissions, you think?
Cows.
No. Cows are like
I don't know. I just hear people bitching about cows farting all the time.
Cows are like
cars.
They're like 7% of the food industry's output of CO2.
I would
transportation
say
is only like
it's not
7% of the Earth's output.
Is
it's the construction. It's like the things we build, right? It's like when you build a building, you make concrete, you make steel, that outputs a lot of CO2 in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you going to shut down China's ability to build cities? They're not going to do that.
Which is funny. You said 20 million people live in Shenzhen.
Yeah, Shenzhen.
Never heard of it.
Dude, Shenzhen.
20 million people.
Yes, you have.
Never heard of it.
Shenzhen is like one of the biggest cities.
I've never heard of it. I never heard of Wuhan until a year and a half ago.
I think Shenzhen is like the new Hong Kong.
Oh.
It's like another Hong Kong. So there's like Hong Kong and Shenzhen. Those are like
Gotcha.
in Beijing, right?
All right.
Damn. Can you hear that plane coming through?
We got a plane.
I don't even know if you can hear it on here, but it's loud as
balls out here.
loud as balls. Loud as ligma.
Ligma
So,
what?
guys, we've got
All right. Well, hey, Chance, you know what
come on.
Chance, you know what you need to be worrying about right now? Come on, man.
Come on, man.
It'll be okay, Chance. You'll live your life just fine.
I don't know what's going to happen with this. I'm just bringing you guys the information I
get
find.
you.
You know what I mean?
I know.
It's crazy stuff, dude.
About 10 years, they'll move on to something else.
Yep, 10 years.
All right, Chance. We've played this before. You may not remember it, but I have a question. Is this racist? Got a little video here,
Okay.
and it's just let you see it. It's
Okay. Is this racist?
I need to know if this is racist.
Okay, hold on. Is this playing on the? Not yet.
It is now.
Okay.
Wait, got to go back.
Oh, just let it play through. Let it play through, and then.
So basically, it's this white guy. The guy poses a question. He's like, out there somewhere, there's probably a white guy who grew up in China
Okay.
and moved to the United States and learned English.
Okay.
But he still speaks with
So it says there's probably okay. So like you just said, so
There's probably at least one white guy adopted and raised in China who speaks English with a Chinese accent, and strangers just assume he's a total asshole. Turn it up. Is this
We
racist?
lived in Singapore. 9 years already. 9 years, and before that, 2 years in China.
2 years in China?
5 years in the States.
oh my god,
Is that racist, Chance?
That's
That
not
is not
racist.
racist.
That's not racist at all.
That guy walks in, people are like, dude, what the fuck, man?
Oh yeah, Shenzhen. I think he just said Shenzhen. Oh yeah, I was in China.
I live in the United States 2 years.
Yeah, he probably goes around to like Starbucks and orders a coffee, and they're like, "This motherfucker."
Dude, you're like, dude, what's your name? Ling Ding. Dude.
Oh my god.
You can't say that.
That's probably
my name.
That's probably terrible if he goes to like an Asian person and starts talking
my
like, and they don't know. He probably has to have like a business card. It's like, prepare for what you're about to hear, and he's like, "Hello."
I would just start, there's another guy, not this guy, but there's a white dude who he goes to like Chinese markets or like Chinatown. You see that guy?
Those are
and
awesome.
he speaks perfect like
Chinese Mandarin.
Mandarin is
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
was going.
yeah.
And like, so he'll be standing there and people start talking shit about him.
I
He'll just
love
turn around
those
and he'll be like,
videos.
hey, and they're all like, what the?
Okay, but that's actually a really cool, those are really cool videos. I fall down that rabbit hole anytime I run into one of those videos of like, it's like black guy speaks perfect Mandarin, or I like the ones where it's like black guy speaks super subset dialect of like Mandarin.
Swahili or something.
Okay, but of China, you know, some language, right? Some like super specific language, and he goes to a restaurant of that language, and he starts talking to the waiter, and then the waiter like cries because they haven't heard
those too.
like that native tongue in so long, and they'll go to like African markets and talk like Swahili and all these things, and like that is a great demonstration of how like breaking barriers and stereotypes. Like if you can communicate with somebody, like even Spanish, like we have such a huge Hispanic population in the United States. Like if I spoke perfect Spanish, you know, not saying I'm not friendly to like Hispanic people, but a lot of the times it's hard to interact with them because you know that you guys don't speak the same language. So the interaction isn't very fluid. But if you can break down that language barrier and have a conversation with them, you just go straight into being bros. You level the playing field. You're both humans. You know what I mean? They don't think of you some way. You don't think of them some way. You guys just have a conversation. And you're like, hey, did you hear about Biden's plan to remove a billion tons?
Yeah, that's what the conversation you'd be having with them.
I don't think that would be the conversation at all.
So Chance and Carter, you both say that's not racist.
I say that that's not racist.
All
I
right.
find that hilarious, though. That's super funny. He's like,
Okay.
oh, yeah, China to you.
China,
I would love to be that guy.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
That'd be so cool. That was like last week we were talking about the guy who's disabled and he like has like we were saying he has such a good spirit about like his circumstances. If I was that guy, I would be playing that card so hard.
I almost sent you a TikTok. I saw a funny one of him this week.
Oh,
He
of the
put
guy?
one out,
Yeah. Is it with the girl? She's like, what would you do with me for if you had an hour? And he's like,
No, it was another one.
video games.
He's got a pretty good following.
He does. He's very, very popular. Chance, will you pause this real quick?
You're up, car door.
Dun, dun, dun. We're back.
We're back.
Me already?
I think we're peeing more that we're drinking coffee and not
I'm drinking lots of coffee. I love coffee. That's my
than we're
problem.
drinking vodka and
I
beer.
freaking love coffee. There's no repercussions. You know what I mean? Just happiness.
All right. What do you got for me?
The Price is Right. We're going to play a little Price is Right.
From my childhood.
It's not, I'm going to tell you either dollar or percent. You have to tell me how much this industry or this thing has risen in the last year.
Oh, God. Okay.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Gas.
Gas has...
Per barrel,
per barrel.
it was $40 in 2020.
I say it's like 80, 100%.
$80.
Nice.
Good job.
Nice.
Food. What percent price has food risen in the last year?
Last year.
From 2020 to 2021.
15%.
I'll say 30%.
No, 4.6.
Okay.
So
That's
on average, pretty much, yeah, pretty much 30%.
I just started grocery shopping for myself within the last year or so.
Well, Hot Pockets used to be.
No, but 4.6% overall. I assume some
That ain't that bad.
you feel it. 4.6%. You feel
Okay. On
if
$200, that's $8.
right. If it starts rising further than that,
It's only going to get worse.
okay. Just wait. How much has the cost to buy a home risen in percent?
Oh, God. It depends where.
On average.
I know
Just on average.
On average, people around here in Texas, Collin County, were going nuts. 25%.
20%. So it's risen 20% in a year to buy a home. Okay, that's across like all markets.
Really?
Okay, how much in dollar amount more is it to build a new home? How much more will it cost you to build a home from 2020 to 2021?
Well, that's kind of a question like, was I building a $200,000 house?
Just in general,
$100,000.
24,000. It's going to cost you an extra 24,000. So if you were building a $100,000 home, it's going to be 124,000. You know.
So you'd say I should build a $400,000 home where it only went up 24.
If you're trying to build a $100,000 home, now you can only, for the same amount of home, you could only spend $80,000, right? For $80,000.
I got you. I see where you're going. I see what you did there.
How much has the percentage of a car price risen in the last year?
Used car or new car? That's
Just says car.
I
made
used
the
cars
notes.
are. On a side note, I was listening to the radio today, and they had this guy. He's a car guy. He said he went to an auction the other day, and there was a 2019 Camry sold for $39,000
That's crazy.
with 35,000 miles on it. Sold for. He goes, that car brand new was only $35,000.
Wow.
And it sold used 2 years later for 4,000 more. Anyways,
My cousin had a Jeep, and she sold it for more than she bought it for. Like, she had it for like 3 years, and then she sold it for another like $3,000 more than she bought it. She bought a Lexus.
nice.
Turned around and bought an expensive Lexus.
I would say cars
percentage.
20%.
I'm saying 40.
24%. Chance you don't know. This is Kelly. I'm just kidding.
Chance doesn't know.
How much would it cost you today to rent a 4-door car?
Oh, God.
How much per day does it cost to rent a 4-door sedan?
Just a regular sedan?
Just a regular
No,
sedan.
I usually get the SUV.
I know. Per day.
$250 a day.
500.
God.
It is on average is $500 per day to rent a 4-door sedan right now.
Jeez.
Lumber in 2020 it was $300 per 1,000 foot. This is off of like the lumber index, and they go by 1,000 foot.
It's by foot, yeah.
Yeah. So 1,000 feet or $1,000 per foot or whatever. Or yeah, so it was $300 per 1,000 feet.
Okay, $300 per 1,000 feet.
Right.
I would say it went up to like 700 or 800, but now it went back down.
It went down, but let's talk about in the height. At the height, how much did it cost?
$900.
$1,200 for 1,000 feet of lumber.
Sure was crazy.
It was crazy.
Because I remember there were TikTok videos. People like, yeah, I'm rich. He had like 3 or 4 pieces of plywood back there. He's like, I'm rich.
I don't need a stimulus check. I got a bunch of wood. 9mm bullet. In 2020, during the height, it was 70 cents per bullet. How much is it today?
I can tell you we bought was 70 cents a bullet
On average, yeah, it was 70 cents per bullet.
in 2020.
Yeah.
I would say $1.50 a bullet.
Nah, it's gone down. It's 40 cents per bullet.
Really?
Yeah. So the price
it has gone down.
It has
Okay.
gone down. So during the craziness, it was at up.
Yeah.
I mean, I was seeing
We're going to Shills
to
later.
like $1.50 per bullet some places. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just supply and demand kind of a thing, right? But it's gone down to 40
That's why I'm
cents
not
per
shooting
bullet.
my AR. It's too expensive.
How much has steel risen percentage?
20%.
75.
Yeah, I should have known that. I'm in the construction industry.
The cost of steel has risen 75% in a year. Golly. Okay. How much is a 40-foot container? It was $1,800 in 2020.
To like a rent for the month?
No,
Or
to like in terms of
to
shipping. So
something?
from like taking it like,
from the port
yeah, from the port or whatever.
to wherever?
Yeah.
It was $1,800.
Uh-huh.
$5,000.
$3,000, but still.
Yeah.
And inflation. It was 2.95% in 2020. What is it today? 5.39% inflation. I want to talk
Joe
about
Biden.
inflation.
Okay.
I didn't know anything about inflation. Didn't know anything. I just want to say I graduated high school with a 2.4 something GPA, so I'm not necessarily the expert on this, but I have a thick stack of notes to talk about it. Oh, man. So prices for things are what? Cost of material plus labor equals the price, right? And everything works off of supply and demand. We understand supply and demand.
You understand that, Chance?
I understand.
If you want Bush Light
If you want Bush Light,
and we
right.
don't have much, we're going to raise the price. So you got to buy it.
It's fucked up.
All right.
So inflation, what I've learned, is considered it's good in healthy economies, and it stays around 0.5 to 1.5%. That is a good, healthy inflation. And that's because inflation, it signifies a natural ebb and flow in the economy. When companies are in high demand, the workers desire more compensation. The companies turn around and they increase the price of that goods. It's a natural balance between the supply and demand of goods, right? And whole markets and economies, right? It creates a cycle. So it naturally over time, since the 20s and the 30s, prices and wages have generally gone up together. As wages increase, prices for things increase, right? So I hear a lot of people like, I don't want to raise the minimum wage because it's going to raise the price of things, right? You hear that all the time. People spend more money now rather than later when they think when inflation is happening, right? Because they think I'd rather buy it now in order to not have to buy it at a more expensive price later, which is good. It puts money into the economy. When inflation rises too fast, you have a runaway inflation. So that's when the prices can increase by 2 times within a single day. And left unchecked, this could create hyperinflation. Yugoslavia in 1994 had a 313 million% inflation rate.
Wow.
313.
That's probably why they're no longer a country.
They're no, and so when you get into hyperinflation, that is the number one signifier that you are a failed state. So if your currency in your country gets to hyperinflation, it doesn't even have to be this 313 million%. That's like when it's like gone off the rails and it's no longer. I mean, at that point, Yugoslavia is not a country. They don't have any sort of assets, or their economy's completely crashed.
Their money's worthless.
Right. So too much inflation is bad because this will result in the economy spending less money out of fear and the freedom. So companies, they don't want to spend money when inflation is high because they're not going to get enough out of their products. So what did I want to say about so investors don't like to invest when inflation rises. Right now, we're not seeing that. We're not seeing inflation. The stock market is still going up and up and up, which might not be a good thing because they haven't. I feel like there's a lot of people in the stock market right now from 2020 and 2021 that are new. And it's just people like us who are just throwing money into stocks.
Like you.
Shut up. Just average Gen Pop people, not investors, not companies, not like super educated people in the stock market. They're just like, I'm trying to ride this bubble as long as I can. and they're not aware. You know, I see so many videos of people like,
going to pop.
I'm a stock market. You need to follow these stocks. It's going to, you're going to triple your money. They don't actually know what they're talking about. They're just following simple flows, and they're like, this stock's about to rise. I'm going to put all my money into it. I feel like that's boosting up the stock market, and a lot of people are making a lot of money, but only a small percentage of people are going to make that money when the overall stock market does crash, if it does crash. So inflation is controlled by interest rates, right? When interest rates are down, the inflation is slow. Interest rates show the value of the US dollar. Okay. So right now, our interest rates are nothing. They are 0.25% interest rates. So I don't know what the average interest rate is normally, but that's not good, because if it gets to zero, then
depends if you're buying a Harley Davidson for the first time, or if you're buying a new Dodge truck for the first time. The inside joke, sorry, people.
Companies like inflation rather than deflation, because when there's inflation happening, a company's like, great, we can buy these raw materials at this price, and we'll know that it'll be worth more on the out. But if we have deflation, companies like, I'm going to buy this raw material, and once I make my product, it's going to be worth less than when I bought that raw material. So companies like inflation. They like to inflate. We're seeing cost push inflation right now, where the cost of raw materials, the price is going up, and that naturally drives the price of the final product. So that's what we're seeing in a ton of different markets. There's something called shrinkflation that I don't think a lot of people realize, that mac and cheese, Kraft mac and cheese, they will keep the same size box but start putting less mac and cheese in there.
Oh yeah, that's a thing.
To basically secretly sell you less for the same price to mask the inflation that's happening there. So if they weren't doing that, then just the price of mac and cheese would just rise up, right? Yeah. So what I wanted to get to, because we were talking about this the other day, and we were like saying prices are going crazy on different things, on gas, on, on Busch Light, on literally everything I talked about, prices are going up. Why?
Well, gas, transportation of the goods to their final destination.
Yep.
The raw materials that go into those things.
But so I hear a lot that it's either the stuff that's happening in 2020 or it's the government spending. You know what I mean? What do you think that do you think it's because of COVID that that the prices are going up? Or do you think it's the government and their actions that's making prices go up?
That it has to do, I think, I'm trying to use my words here.
Yeah.
Depends on what the product is.
Right.
Obviously,
right.
If you are making if you're making water bottles,
right,
it's going to go up because of gas.
Right.
Or barrels of oil, because plastic is a petroleum product. If you're making steel, if you're making poles for fences,
right,
that's going to be because steel's up. But
right.
transportation of all those things from A to B is, truckers are going to charge more, right, because they're spending more.
So let me cover some of these industries on the things that I talked about, like the different prices that I talked about. And these are some of the reasons of why things are going up. Steel. Okay. So steel, there was no demand because we locked down. Everything had to shut down, so there was no demand. And then everything opened up, or when the demand went down, the supply went down. They stopped producing a lot of steel,
Can
right?
I jump in real quick?
Yeah.
The project that he's working on for me right now,
yeah,
it took them 40 weeks to get metal studs.
Okay.
Where they used to be able to just make a call and they'd show up the next day.
Exactly. So when we lock down, like we live in I'm going to get to our just time economy here in a second, but we went into lockdown, they stopped producing steel. So there was a low supply. And then everything opened up and everybody's like, let's get back to work. And then it's like, okay, well, we don't have anything. You're going to have to wait to buy steel. And with the steel tariffs that are still in place in the United States, we couldn't, as we were like saying, okay, well, let's ramp up the production of steel. We'll start purchasing some from different countries.
Well, we purchase a lot from China. It's cheaper to buy it in China and ship it here than make it in America.
It's cheaper to send the raw materials to China, get it processed, and then send it back than to make it in the United States.
It's crazy.
But so while we were waiting for the supply to ramp up, we weren't allowed to buy steel from China to kind of mix that flow and be like, okay, well, we're going to wait for the U.S. supply to start ramping back up. So there was this huge backlog of steel. That's why the steel prices just through the roof because it's supply and demand, right? The demand is super high and the supply is super low, so it's going to cost more. If you want in a free market, you want that steel, you got to be willing to pay for it, right?
Yeah, so that's what it is.
Home prices, people fleeing different locations, majority California, New York, and the Northeast. They're flooding into smaller markets with a shit ton of cash. So again, supply and demand. You've got limited supply and a high demand. That's going to cause home prices to rise like no other.
We're seeing that here.
We're seeing that here. My home is just insanely overvalued, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like, and Madison's like talking to me all the time. She's like, let's buy a new house. Let's buy a new house. I'm like, we need to be happy that we own a house, because I think what's happening right now with the prices going up, the stock market's going up, and all of these things, we're like living in this fake economy that, you know, she's like, everything's good right now. Let's go buy a house. And I'm like, dude, we should just stay where we're at, because I don't know what's going to happen in the next couple months. I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow. I don't know if it's going to be in a month. I don't know if it's going to be in 6 months. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't want to like put ourselves in a weird position, right? So just enjoy what you got while you got it, right? Lumber. And also home prices went up because the new builds, because of the shortage of lumber and steel. So building a home increased, right? The cost of building a home is due to the lumber and the steel. The lumber markets, we get a lot of our lumber from Canada, and Canada put in government regulations to cut down the amount of lumber being cut in their forests. And 10.3 million acres were burned in 2020, and that was up from 4.7 million acres burned in 2019. So that causes an issue with lumber supply. What I researched is that the lumber supply was already super devalued before 2020, and now it's getting back to what it should have been. So we were living in the golden age of lumber price, and now that it's where it's at, it's probably going to stay there. It's also probably going to stay there because Home Depot and Lowe's really enjoy their biggest profits ever, and they're not going to want to give that up. They're not going to want to be like, okay, well, let's just push the price of lumber down because, you know, thanks for the 14% increase in our profits. Now this year will be different. No. They're a company, right? They're going to want to keep those profits. And so we live in a just in time economy, right? Everything we make, from the steel to phones to this American flag, like every piece of this is only stored just enough to make the product, right? And if one piece of this product goes awry in the logistical chain, the whole process is thrown off, because you can no longer create this flag if you can't get the sticks in. You can't create the flags if you can't get the fabric in, right?
Yeah.
That was created by Toyota, and back in the day, back after World War II, they created this, and it only works for Toyota. Like, this is taught in schools all the time, just-in-time economies, because you save money by not storing the physical space and the materials, right? So you don't have to buy all this stuff. Toyota was able to do it because they were in Japan. They were in a little island. So their supply chains are just like on rail lines within the island. And people were like, let's take this to the global economy. Let's make all of our healthcare systems and all of our medicine, let's have it built in China. And then when shit shuts down and we can no longer move resources back and forth, we realize, oh, this should not have been in a just-time economy.
We're at war with China. They stopped sending us medicine.
Exactly. Oh, and they have all of it, and they're not going to send it to us,
that
right?
Sounds like something Donald Trump used to say. Remember, he said something like that.
Okay. I don't want to bore you guys too much with all of this inflation talk, but so that's one major reason why prices are so high. But from what I think and what I was researching, I think that this is the mask that allows our government to say this is why prices are high.
Oh, yeah.
Because the real reason is our U.S. economy is fucked.
Oh, we're going to pop soon.
Okay. This is the scary part. When you spend money, your dollar is valued less, right? Because this is worth 5, right? Let's just say it's worth 5.
Okay.
And you have 20 in circulation, 20 currency. If you now have 1,000 currency, they're going to charge you whatever the ratio is, right?
The more money you print.
Exactly. The more money that's out there, it just devalues what that dollar is. It doesn't devalue this cup. The cup is going to stay that same price, right? So if we have a fuck ton of money out there that we're printing, then the price of things, the value of things stay, but the price that you're going to have to pay is going to rise because the value of the dollar is less, right? So it's this weird this weird back and forth scale. I just want to talk about how much money was printed in 2019 and 2020.
Not as much as being printed in 2021.
That's right. That's right. 10 what?
Trillion.
10 trillion dollars. That is 27 billion printed every single day in 2020. $27 billion was printed every single day.
Money?
It's not actually printed. It's manifested, right, by the federal government. There's actually nothing to back it besides the word of the federal government, right? The Fed printed 20, quote unquote, they released the equivalent to $27 billion into the economy. No, $27 billion every single day.
Every day.
For 365 days, that's $27 billion released into the economy. Let's see. $400+ billion bank bailout in 2019. That was right before the pandemic, okay? Wasn't a big, no one's talking about that. $1.6 trillion bank bailout in 2020. $4 trillion Fed bailout of whatever money. I don't know what that means, but I think the guy, the person talking about this who released this to the press said something about it's whatever. Then another $2 trillion bailout, another $2.3 trillion Federal Reserve bailout for the U.S. economy, a $484 billion coronavirus funding bill, and planned is a $3.5 trillion government reconciliation and a $550 billion infrastructure deal. When I was growing up and the 2008 market crash happened, right? The recession happened, and that bailout was like the most insane thing, quantitative easing, right? Happened for essentially the first time. And that's, the banks ran out of money. We had to the federal government had to bail the banks out. How much did we give them? How much did the federal government give the banks in 2008?
$100 billion.
They gave them $700 billion. 700 billion, which in 2008, we were like, you're going to do what? You're going to get, I remember I was a kid, but my parents, we lost our house. We lost everything because of the 2008 recession, right? Because they flipped on the subprime mortgages or whatever it was. And now we've printed 10 trillion in a year.
Banks are evil.
It's not, that's the Fed. It's the Federal Reserve. The
Banks
Federal
are
Reserve
evil too.
Yeah, well, they're hand in hand, right?
But you should be back on the gold standard.
Yeah, well, then you have something to actually back your dollar.
You know what the gold standard is?
No.
We'll explain it later.
So but yeah, people want to say, oh, well, that's the reason things are rising. Dude, we've printed more money than we know what to do with, right? Yeah. So if people are like, oh, well, because I was hearing on Breaking Points, they were like, oh, well, it's just these prices increase. It's not on government spending. Dude, I don't know what $10 trillion being released into the government, into the economy does. Wow. The stimulus check, if all the money was to go to the people, it'd be over $30,000 per U.S. citizen and illegal immigrants.
Yeah.
So
don't even get me going.
It's pretty crazy. I could go on for days, but
you're a ray of sunshine today.
I am a ray of sunshine, dude. This is what's happening in the world. This is the stuff that I find interesting. Why are
I get it.
I don't know why I'm the guy talking about it. You know what I mean? Why am I
some points?
So Janet Yellen and
God, I hate her.
And what's the other guy's name? I have it.
Was she
she's
the
the
Secretary of Treasury?
Yeah,
she's an idiot.
So Janet Yellen and the guy who runs the Fed, she's the Secretary of the Treasury, and the other guy is he's the Commissioner of the Fed or whatever, right? They don't want to talk about. They don't want to, because even if they hint that inflation is rising,
it's all speculation. Yeah.
Well, if they don't even want to say it, because if they say inflation is rising, the stock market crashes. But if they say interest rates are rising, the stock market crashes, right? Because either one are bad. They don't want to be regulated or whatever, but it's crazy. Do you want to play that video real quick?
Yeah.
It's just, it's like 15, 20 seconds or something.
Yeah.
This is from Peter Schiff talking about what's happening here. It's really just the audio. So if you just want to play the audio, you can just hit play and we can just listen to it.
A big lie. Take for an example Peter Schiff, who had this to say about that theory. Well, the markets continue to ignore mounting evidence of a huge inflationary problem because everybody is convinced that these price increases are transitory, right? It's all temporary. It's all the result of comparisons and other anomalies that were associated with the coronavirus and the shutdown. And so we can close our eyes to what's plainly there because we can all rest assured that this is just transitory. And again, the principal leader in this "it's transitory" campaign is the Federal Reserve, is Jerome Powell. And after all, if the Fed thinks it's transitory, well, who are we to argue? But again, it was the Federal.
So what he was just saying is what I was trying to say is the federal government is going to keep saying, "Oh, this is because of coronavirus. We're just trying to get that system, that supply, system, the logistical system back up and everything." That is just a symptom of coronavirus, but in reality, the real problem stems from the fact that we are literally destroying our own economy, and we're the economy that runs the world. So if we fuck ourselves, dude, I mean, what's going to happen? I don't know. I mean, the dollar, I don't know what the recourse of something like that. Like if one day shit does hit hyperinflation, like, damn. So I found this guy and he was talking about hyperinflation isn't coming. And he's like, I'm not going to play the video because it's too long, but Foxfire Army on YouTube, he was talking about food, water, medicine, medical equipment, get fuel, tools, clothing, guns, ammo, batteries, and gold. I don't know why you should get gold, dude. If shit hits the fan, I don't know what. I'm more worried about getting Oxycontin than gold when the shit hits the fan. You know what I mean?
I'm all about the bullets and ammo.
Yeah.
Because I'll just go take your shit. Watch a lot of zombie movies.
Yeah, So I don't know. Just scary shit. Oh, yeah. So I know that I'm super depressing today, but that's
why you see I always have a bunch of water in my garage.
Oh yeah,
just for that.
Since we've locked down, I tell everybody, I'm like, every time I go to the store, I'm buying canned foods, I'm buying water, I'm buying like small things. So I have at least a couple days. Dude, we're already forgetting. They locked us down. The government told us we couldn't go outside. Like, what happens when they do that again? Who knows?
Ain't gonna happen again. Trust me.
Well, I think bad things happen if they try to. If it happens again, we're in that bad situation.
They have another pandemic. Yeah, it's not going to go that well.
He meant to say pandemic. YouTube.
I'm sorry. I did mean to say pandemic. Pandemic.
You guys, that's my most depressing thing. Oh wait, I have one more depressing thing, but that'll be for another segment.
Well, I have an uplifting thing.
Give me something uplifting, Kelly. Now that I've depressed.
Our boy Chance. How old are you, Chance?
20.
So let's double his age.
40. As Chance would say, 60?
What
and a half.
Where do you think Chance will be in 20 years?
Well, now that he lives here, I think he's going to be a tech mogul within the next 3 years. He's going to pick up all this computer stuff that he's learning, man. He's going to be a high-paid producer.
I found Chance in 20 years.
Did you?
I did.
Should I play it?
This is the chance that if Chance stays on his current course.
Yes. This is...
I already like it. Hashtag bad bitch.
Looks like a cleaner Chance, man. At least take a shower.
Wait, if Lot E3 is rocking, don't come knocking.
If Lot E3. Oh,
just play it.
Is it on screen? We're good?
Oh my God.
Hi, I'm Gregory. I'm looking for a broad. I got a double lot down at the mobile home park. It's the biggest lot in there. Kids around there call me the king.
That's right.
Labels don't mean nothing to me. But if your shoe fits, I'll wear it, son of a bitch. Now, I stay gone 6, 7, 11 days at a time. I got a 1994 Peterbilt. It's a bad bitch. That's what I call it. It's got a tag on the front that says bad bitch. You will not replace the bad bitch. If you ain't into trucking, you ain't into me.
That's right.
This arm right here is 22 shades more Caucasian than this arm. If y'all trying to be the queen of Lot E3, and you want to ride bitch in that 1994 Peterbilt, go ahead and let me know. First come, first serve, ladies. This shit gonna be gone faster than putting a 67 Camaro on Facebook Marketplace.
Those jeans are painted on, bro. Those jeans are tight.
Around.
If you're here to fuck around.
I'm Gregory.
I'm Gregory.
Oh, Gregory.
I'm looking for a brawl.
Call Chance.
You're a chance.
So I like him.
I like it.
I feel like that's not me in 20 years. That's me right now without a semi truck.
Yeah, and the E3 lot. You're
lot E3.
That's hilarious.
Working on that one.
Chance, that guy looks like an upstanding citizen. You know what I mean?
Going to go faster than a 67 Camaro
At least
on
he
Facebook
works.
Marketplace.
At least he works. He works 6, 7, 11 days a week.
6, 7, 11 days. Dude, that outfit, Chance. You need to start dressing. See, this is version 1 of Chance. What he's wearing today. That's version 2.
Dude, that's Chance all dressed up.
2.0.
That's you all dressed
Chance,
up.
you need to get some of those.
I wear nice things.
What kind of jeans are those, dude? Those are crazy.
That is water art Crayola.
Yeah.
That he painted on himself.
Those are tight jeans, dude. And he's not afraid to show the gut either. You know what I mean? Like, I love a guy who's not afraid. Yeah.
It's not a dad bod. It's a father figure.
That's right. That's right. It's a father figure.
Father figure.
That's awesome. I think that'll be Chance.
I think so.
I hope
Chance,
so.
I don't think that's going to be you. I think you'll keep your country values and the things you're interested in, but Chance is going to do nothing but excel here. I've already seen him excelling.
I learned what a kolache is. I was feeling.
That's right.
I had sourdough bread for lunch. I'm already turning fancy, you know.
Sourdough bread. He's going to go back. Your family's never going to know who you are.
Oh.
What else? What are the biggest changes for moving to Texas?
The traffic, like how many people are here.
Yeah.
It like at 6 o'clock in the morning when I'm on my way to work, it blows my mind.
Yeah.
That I'm in dead stop traffic.
Yeah, that early, right?
What is it? 10 million people in the Metroplex?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. 8, 9, 11, 6, 7, 11. I don't know.
So what's been the biggest, like, awe moment? Like, oh, wow, that's so cool. Have you had one of those? Like,
meeting me.
Is it the food?
Yeah. Well, I met you like 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah. 10 years ago? Jesus, I don't think it was that. Was it?
Is it the food?
Probably pretty close. Yeah, there's the food here.
Yeah.
For one, it's really good.
Yeah.
But two, like, most of these restaurants, even the fast food places, I maybe heard of them, never seen one. Okay. Never been to one.
Like Chick-fil-A?
We had Chick-fil-A.
What's the best? If your parents come down, what's the one place you want to take them that you've been to since you've been here?
Knowing my parents, probably Kelly Farms.
Yeah,
that's a good
Kelly
awesome.
Farms is pretty
Kelly
good.
Farms is a good burger. Shout out Kelly Farms and Allen. What about the people? The people are different too, huh? Like just generally like
especially like when I go to Walmart or gas station or something, people come and engage with me, or at least, greet me like, good morning, how are you?
Right.
That's not something I'm really used to.
Right.
But also growing up in a small town, if I go to Walmart, chances are I'm going to see at least 5 people I already know.
Right, but these are people you don't know. These are just strangers who are just like, hey, how's it going? You know what I mean? That's such a Texas thing, like to drive your car in your neighborhood and like someone's standing on your lawn, like you feel obligated to be like, and like wave at them as you drive by. You're like, I don't know who you are, but
how you doing?
Like
friendly, you know what I mean?
We talk about it all the time. When we went to the pizza place when I first got here.
Yeah,
the lady at the pizza place, she was just so nice.
She just chatted us up right away. I mean, we sat there for 5 minutes and talked to her like,
Napoli's?
Yeah, Napoli's. Yeah. We were just sitting there talking with her. She's just happy as can be. You know what I mean? Just wanted to chat it up.
Any regrets?
Any regrets?
No. I feel like I've been having a pretty good time out here. I enjoy work. I enjoy being here. So.
Yeah. You're learning a lot at work, and everyone at your job site is pretty cool. Chance is working in the electrical field now. Big time construction.
He's learning Spanglish.
He's learning Spanglish.
Working on my Spanish. I've learned no words yet, but
are you understanding them?
Sometimes. Yeah. Usually they use some pretty good hand signals.
Yeah.
They speak Spanglish too, so they'll mix American.
Right.
They're pretty good about if they don't know like what to ask me for, like they don't know the English word. They're good at like finding something, throwing it at it. They're like, that one.
They got great aim.
Yeah.
But, you're just going to, over the next couple months, if you put a little bit of effort in, just learn their little parts of Spanglish. So it's not you speaking English and them speaking Spanglish. You guys will mingle and, understand each other really well, which is awesome. I always really enjoyed that.
I really enjoy like being a part of like seeing their different cultures.
Yeah.
I'm from a little town where everybody is pretty much the same.
Mm-hmm.
And then like,
That's
I come
a lot
here.
of flannel.
Yeah. Then I come here and like majority of the people here are way different than me.
Yeah, right.
And I feel like I just being around all these different people, I've learned so many different things.
Right.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I see you integrating like with like all of us and hearing you talk about people at work and stuff. And I'm like, That's cool. Like you're probably experiencing like
I'm enjoying Chance be here.
I'm super enjoying you being here. You
I
get
enjoy
Kelly
being
off
here.
my back. I don't have him. He's like your new friend. You know what I mean? You guys are chilling.
Chance,
together.
the
Like,
one thing I do wish you would do less of, talk during movies.
I'm
Talk
bad
a
about
lot during movies.
is it asking questions or just
Like,
conversation?
hey, the Red Wedding's going on right now on Game of Thrones. He's like, hey, did you know that? I'm like,
Yeah. In 1973,
If I don't,
Right
if I
now.
don't say it, I will forget, and then
Watch it right now.
all night I'll be thinking. I'll be like, "What did I want to tell Kelly 7 hours ago?"
you're like, I already have insomnia. I can't have anything else on my mind.
no, but besides that, I'm 100% cool with Chance.
Yeah,
He's-
Chance being here is awesome. Madison was like, we were talking the other day. She was like, I think over time Kelly's gonna resent like having Chance as a roommate, and because we've had these conversations about different roommates that you've had. Kelly runs basically a hostel.
I do
all
run
the
a hostel.
everybody's friends always move into Kelly's house and live here for months at a time.
It's like an adult orphanage.
Yeah, it really
you know?
is like an adult. But I find it like a school. Like if you listen to Kelly, he'll teach you about the way the
some
world
people
works.
have taken it on and others
Some people
haven't.
Some people graduate and they excel. Those people that have lived at your house and have followed and really listened to the
Life's
things that you
not
were trying
hard.
to teach them.
Just follow the rules.
Stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane.
Play the rules the best you can. Work hard. You know, if you fall like me, I lived here and I learned so much from being your roommate and just watching you. You know, you have a great house. You just shut the fuck up. You go to work. You know what I mean? You teach that, and that's awesome. And the people that don't listen to that have not ended up well. But for the most part, the people who are here that stay at your house always end up, you know,
They do okay.
doing better when they leave than when they got here. You know?
So Madison thought I would resent Chance.
So okay, yeah. So Madison was saying, she was like, I think Kelly, like in a couple months, like he'll get tired, he'll find some little quirk of Chance and be like, you know, you're like, oh, I fucking hate you, you know, you choke him out. But
Me talking during movies.
I told her, I was like, no. Chance, I can already tell. Like he came with a good work ethic built in. You're already very polite. You already pick up your slack that you see. You know what I mean? Like you'll do your cleaning part. You're not a mooch.
he buys his own food.
You resent people who come here and they're
mooch.
mooch.
Yeah.
And they just keep, because you're so nice, you're never going to say no to anybody. But if they just keep,
Well, it's fine.
if they don't do their part and better themselves while you're being nice and helping them out, then you start to resent them.
fine.
And I'm like, Chance is not going to do that.
Well, I told him the other day. I've told him this, and I said, when we go out to dinner, I'm not going to buy your dinner.
That's good.
He's like, I don't, and he goes, I don't expect you to. He's like, okay, I just need you to start learning.
Right.
Being at your age, you need to learn how to start paying bills.
Right. Yeah.
And it just becomes a thing.
And food is a great way
Yeah.
to start. I mean, you probably already pay for all your gas. I mean, Kelly's not paying for anything of yours.
I
really.
don't.
Like
No.
it's just a room. You know what I mean? And like as long as you keep it as just a room, Kelly will help you out.
Get on your feet.
Kelly will help you as much as Kelly can, as long as you're showing Kelly that you're also trying to grow and become an adult and like take initiative for your
That's
life.
absolutely
And then
true.
he'll help you literally forever. I mean,
Yeah.
shit, you've helped me out so much, you know, in the last
Well, and I've always said people have helped me out along the way
right.
to get where I am. So, I mean, I expect you to do that too.
I think
Pay it
that's
forward.
Pay it forward.
that's something that like people don't talk about is, you know, the whole pull yourself up by the bootstraps. That's only part of the equation. You need a community around you that is willing to help you when they see that you're doing well. If they're just enabling you to be a piece of shit, then that's never going to solve the problem. You're never going to pull yourself up by those bootstraps. But if you are demonstrating that you're trying to do that, hopefully you have a community around you that's going to then enable you to help you take those next big steps.
That goes into one of my favorite sayings is show me your friends and I'll show you your future.
That's right. Right. Exactly. I mean, you hang out with one of my favorite quotes you always told me was, no smart person has ever hung out with dumb people and made them smarter.
That's right.
And that is so true. It goes along with, you know, birds of a feather, right? Like
Birds of a feather flock together.
if you want to succeed, surround yourself by people who have succeeded, you know? And I think I'm doing really well for myself.
You're doing great.
Coming on 25
Got no
years.
problems with
I've got a kid, I've got a house, I've, you know, make all my bills and everything. And you know, so for Chance to be around me and be around you, not saying that where you came from wasn't successful.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
get
talking
what you're
shit about
saying.
that, but just coming in your own and living on your own technically, and then surrounding yourself by, I mean, I would consider us your best friends at the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that, we're hopefully going to be good for you.
Role models for you.
Yeah. Have
And
a good
I
time.
agree.
And you come to the big city. I mean, it's different.
Yeah.
Coming to the big
It's a
city.
lot different.
A lot different. A lot of competition.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, a lot more people, but you'll make a lot more money and you'll learn a lot more.
Right.
The goal is to come to the big city, make a bunch of money, and then move back to the little city.
Right.
Someday.
That's
retire.
what I'm. Yeah, I'm like, let's get to the little city.
Yeah.
I'm ready to move to a little city, but have enough money to chill.
So
that's the end goal.
Besides that, I got no problems with Chance. Chance, love you, buddy. You're doing good.
Love you too.
You rock, Chance. Can't wait to see you in 40 years or 20 years when you look like that guy.
I
don't know where you're gonna
exactly
park.
the same as I do right
I don't
now.
know where you're going to park that Peterbilt, but
If E3 you're rocking, don't
park
come
your
knocking.
big truck in this. You're going to park that big truck in that little garage.
The Big Mac truck.
Look at me throwing out the pop culture.
Sheesh.
Chance, I want to do my Wild Wild Web. You have Wild Wild Web?
I don't, but go ahead.
Okay. I want to do my Wild Wild Web. It's 2 videos. Just play one.
Are they going
whatever.
to top Miss Tolan's cuckold?
I'm a little piggy.
I went down that wormhole again today. I mean, this week.
Chance said that those guys showed up on his For You page.
Somebody stitched it, and they're like, "What the fuck is this?"
If you were a boomer, you'd be like, "My phone's listening to me." So the first video, I think they're both on Reddit. So I went down the hole up. This is r/hole up. Okay. Oh yes, this was great. So you're gonna have to. This post isn't by hole up. I don't know who this. Yeah, this is hole up. So the post just says start a sentence and let someone else finish it. And so I just want you to slowly scroll down, and I want to read
The comments?
the comments. Okay, they're great. You can keep going. Keep scrolling. Keep going. Keep going. Just keep moving. Okay, so keep going.
Can I?
This one says, "Can I see your Bionicle collection? And can I get an amen?" That one's stupid. Keep going. It says, I only ever use highest quality mobile phone to play this ambitious free online RPG game. You got to keep going because there's some raunchier ones. Someone said, there once was a man from Nantucket. His dick was so long he could suck it.
I raped 2 years in my basement.
So there I was sitting there, barbecue sauce on my titties. Says, I'm not racist. They give really good cookies at the KKK meetings. This is a really bad idea because as soon as you have finished your half of the sentence, someone else comes along with stupid endings. Keep going. You got to find the start. There you go. Keep going. This one says, so there I was, fucking my cousin.
Barbecue sauce on my titties.
Isn't that that's a video or a
Yeah,
meme or
yeah.
something, right?
Yeah, barbecue sauce on my titties. Keep going.
Slammed your penis in the car door.
You got to read it with the lisp too. I flam.
I have a massive butt plug rammed up my ass. Problem with sizes. Tumor. What?
Oh, God, I fucking hate having a below average IQ.
I having a cock in my mouth.
Okay, so go to the next.
So this is what we're using the internet for now.
This is literally what I was sitting there laughing. The problem is the post is a couple days old, so it they've all kind of shifted.
Yeah.
But when I was reading it, it was like it's all like step. Oh, that's why I
Step
brought it.
bro.
They were all like about like step bro. Every single-
Did you get my new sound thing?
No, I couldn't do it. I'm
You
working on
gotta
it.
find that.
Okay, so what are you doing? Just open another tab.
Chance, you're fired.
Well, I tried to just delete it all at one
Oh,
at
yeah.
first, and then it didn't work.
I
Okay,
remember
so
my first time.
This video is also from Hole Up. It's called Physics Experiment. Can we see it on the screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ready?
This isn't gonna end good.
This is not going to end well.
end well.
I don't think there's a. Yeah, go ahead, play the sound. Yeah, there you go.
Sumpah. Yo.
Is that a trash bag?
Just wait. He's got a parachute.
Oh shit!
What is happening?
Wow!
Wow.
Wow!
Oh no.
I don't know. So he just fell off a building.
He didn't fall. He got pushed.
I'm glad they didn't show the aftermath of that.
So we'll probably just put a black screen on that for when that video goes up. What do you guys
But
think?
that one,
Yeah, when that
that one's fine.
that one's okay.
Trust me. TikTok.
Okay.
will-
Yeah. I just thought that was crazy. You guys did not. I was like crying. Like
That was the kid falling off the building. I mean, he had good ideas behind it. Like, that was a solid plan.
So for people who are just listening, a kid was trying to jump off like the second story of a building
With a trash
a
bag.
trash bag as a parachute. It didn't go well.
Can we do that here later?
Yeah, we're gonna try it off the pergola here.
And then the problem is they put him on a cross. Why'd they put the kid on the cross?
Is that the same kid?
That was the same kid.
Oh, okay. I
That's
didn't
the
realize
same
it-
kid. Yes, that's what I'm
I thought
saying.
it was a whole nother video.
I don't know why they put the kid on a cross.
Probably because his legs are broken. Did they put?
Oh shit! They put him on a cross and then just drag him.
I didn't realize that was the same kid. Where'd the
I thought it
parents?
was a different kid,
So
too.
did I. They were both WoW videos.
Yes,
So
That
yes,
is
guys.
nuts.
That's my wild, wild web for the week.
no cut.
You think he'll try again?
Kelly's face was like, "We can't be showing this video."
can? Oh, it's going to take a lot more than that to offend me. So.
No. There was no gore or nothing. The kid just falls. So that was that's my wild. What do you got, Kelly?
What are some of the greatest painters in your mind, or in history, not in your mind?
Some of the greatest painters?
Yeah.
Leonardo da Vinci, Raphael, Picasso,
right.
Monet.
Well, here we got this congressman was talking to the attorney general. What's his name? Merrick.
Okay.
Asking him.
Merrick Garland.
Merrick Garland.
Yeah,
Asking him who he thought some of the greatest painters. I don't know why. He would ask some of the greatest painters in the world are.
Okay.
Here we go. Watch this. Need the sound or whatever.
You just need to look at this great painting right here. Very beautiful painting. It is beautiful, and it is listed at Christie's for $700,000. Now, Claude Monet was the founder of the Impressionist movement, something I didn't know until I researched it. The second painting is a Degas. Another world-renowned artist, and this painting sold for $500,000.
Wow, that's pretty expensive.
The third painting, you may recognize this name, is a Hunter Biden. I don't recognize the painting. The Hunter Biden painting sold for $500,000.
Wow.
Now, you may think
That's crazy.
exclusive, that when Hunter Biden is in such exclusive company, that he would have a background, artistic training, for example. But you would be wrong if you thought that. And you might think that he had some sort of apprenticeship with a world-renowned artist, but you would be wrong again if you thought that.
All right, that's crazy.
Or
That's
perhaps
crazy.
Yeah, so Hunter Biden's paintings are selling for the same as Monet.
That's crazy. I mean, it's a good painting. Looks good. It doesn't look bad. I don't think it's $500,000 because you get to that point when you've created something new. Like Monet was like the best impressionist, and he started that movement or whatever. That's why they're worth $500,000. It's not worth $500,000 because you're Hunter Biden.
You think he's being paid because of his artistic abilities?
I'm gonna say because it's his name. If I had the money, I'd put it in there. I'd be like, dude, I got a Hunter Biden in my house.
Yeah, it only had to join a Russian oil board.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude. $500,000 for a painting? I don't mind it. You know what? I hate those TikToks where the person's in the video and they're
get
like,
out of the video.
and they're like pointing up at the thing. I'm like, get out of the video. Just
great
show the
content.
thing.
Just show
Exactly.
content.
Like that one a couple weeks ago, you're showing me about the little kid, and he's like talking to his girlfriend. He's like, yeah, they, all this stuff. Like they are really cool. And he's like, oh, was there multiple? And the guy, like, the video should have just been that whole screen, but the guy's like,
yeah,
he's like laughing the whole time. I'm like, you're ruining the video. You should have just reposted that. Wow.
Nobody cares about his reaction to it. We just want to see the video.
Yeah, exactly. Like, let me have my own genuine reaction. I don't want to sit there with you and like, funny laugh.
All right, what you got?
Netflix.
Oh God,
Netflix. Dave Chappelle.
I would like to go before you even say that. HBO Max app is the worst app in the world.
Terrible.
Go ahead.
Why?
It just never reloads.
Go ahead. It's horrible.
Netflix.
We're just trying to watch Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, the Netflix app or the HBO apps I do know are noticeably slower.
Netflix solid.
Netflix. So the Netflix.
Netflix
had their walkout, right? Their protest that we talked about last week, and we showed that video.
Yeah.
The organizer of the Netflix walkout.
Is that the big transgender?
No.
Versus woman?
Her name is Ashley Marie Preston. Okay, she is a black woman.
Cis?
I don't know.
Not sister, like
Cis. Yeah, like I think she's a woman. She's a black woman.
I got the lingo down.
So she, this all comes from Nate the Lawyer, one of my favorite YouTube channels. Nate the Lawyer brought this up, and I just wanted to shout him out. So Ashley Marie Preston is the organizer of the Netflix walkout, and here are some of her tweets.
Black girl?
Yes.
Black girl, okay.
Just broke my phone over this Asian bitch's head. I have Asian friends, but some of these motherfucking weirdos sometimes. I said it, but we all think it.
Nice.
That was a tweet.
All right.
Another tweet. Asian hoes act like they won't get karate chopped in their motherfucking throats. What is this hoe staring at? Mind your beeswax. That's another tweet by the organizer of the Netflix trans right walkout. Another tweet. This Asian N in Subway got a fat ass. He almost looked like a bitch from behind.
I want to say she might be slightly racist.
Here's another tweet from Ashley Marie Preston. Latinos and Asian businesses need to stop being rude and think disrespectful. And I know it's a lot to ask in CA, but please speak English. Another tweet from the organizer of the Netflix walkout. Almost got hit by an Asian bitch in a BMW as I crossed the street. Yes, I know what you mean, but the important thing is that we didn't say it. Note that these tweets were from 2010, 2011, so it's been some time since those tweets came out. Maybe she's grown out, but that's the point. Is she going to get a pass for this?
Oh, of course she is.
She's going to get a pass. No one's going to talk about this, right? We're going to talk about.
I've not heard a word about this.
We're going to talk about the Netflix trans, whatever walkout at Netflix, but we're not going to talk about the chick who put this together is super racist towards Asian people and Latinos.
What is with the black community? I'm not painting a wide brush here, but they definitely got a problem with the Asian community.
They got the problem with the Asian community. I don't know what it is, but all I've heard is about the rise. You know what? I always hear about you always hear the rise in Asian hate. You never hear about the correlation that they're all black people. A large percentage of these like videos of Asian people getting beat up are like
poor
black
old
people.
Asian people just walking down the street and some dude comes up and clocks them.
I think that Asian people are probably like, I don't know, they're strict. They probably speak their mind and then they get cracked.
They're ruthless.
They're
in war,
right?
Ruthless.
So I think that like maybe what's happening is like these women are being, and I haven't seen all the incidences. I'm speaking out my ass here, but what I could think is maybe you were being an ass and you were egging this lady on, or this person, you were being disrespectful to this person, and then they popped off and said something, and then you beat them up, But I've seen videos of people just walking up on the street and beating up an Asian person.
Like a grandma.
Yeah, like old lady.
Yeah.
Just knocking them. It's crazy. So, Netflix organizer of the trans...
Haven't heard a word about that.
Stand Up for Trans Rights is what the protest was called. And so it should be, let's do a walkout on her.
These organizers see there's money in this. That's why they do it.
And she went on, and so she's a total grifter. She probably got cash or something. You know what I mean? Yeah. She's definitely getting some sort of money from this.
George Soros.
But don't worry about that. That's we don't have to play that. That's the video that it came from. Those are just my resources.
Chance, you like Asian people?
I do.
All right. Let's compare races.
That sounds like a good idea.
The 1974 Grand Prix.
That was a great one.
Today we're going to compare races, and I don't want to talk about they have unique histories and they have unique this and that.
But I really like the Daytona 500.
That's so funny. So I was like, oh damn, you're a bigger piece of shit than what you think Dave Chappelle is.
Yeah, exactly.
I just think that's
Well, that's funny that protest, because there's a lot of things that I said that it's going to take a lot for me to go out to a protest.
Right.
But I definitely found a protest that Chance would probably skip work for. Chance,
is this what you're going into something?
Oh yeah, okay. Chance, what protest would you go for before you play this?
I don't know. I'm kind of with you on.
It would take a lot
for me to go.
First Amendment, Second Amendment.
Sure. Yeah. If like I said, they would have to have squads of people going door to door, taking your guns for me to start protesting, kind of a thing. You know what I mean? Like it needs to be some crazy shit or maybe my next topic. But
here's one Chance will go for.
Okay, so this is something that Chance will protest. Chance is going to skip work to attend this rally.
I'm already laughing. It's so funny. God bless America.
God bless
Motion of the ocean. End small penis shame.
I would protest with
End small penis
I
shame.
love small dongs.
Puny is powerful.
Puny is powerful. Jesus had a small. It said Jesus had a small dick
and small dongs.
Hell yeah.
Where is this? This is what is going on in Los Angeles. Of course, it's Los Angeles. We need to protest small dick.
They have a protest for the shaming of small penises.
I'm going to say this is a troll.
There's a lot of people there.
A lot of people like the troll. That's hilarious. So Chance is going to go there.
Chance, you good with that?
Chance,
I'm good. I'm here to support everybody. You know,
Chance, you should organize one in Dallas.
Chanting?
What, motion of the ocean.
Motion of the ocean. Motion of the ocean.
Chance, we should set one of those protests up.
This is why the internet was invented.
Right.
Things like this.
Right.
Carter, do you know what women say to men with big dicks?
What?
I knew you wouldn't know.
He pulled that one on me the other day too. Chance is like a 2-trick pony. He's only got 2 jokes.
That was wonderful. Legma and
do you know what?
You'll have that.
That's hilarious. You hate to see it. That's so funny. You got me. Time to pull that egg out. Put it back on the face.
All right, I'm gonna pause this real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, sure. Let's take a. Okay, we're back. Sorry, we were lost camera, so we're just from the one cam now, but we're fine. Scored terrorism. Oh my gosh! I just upon this, just sitting on YouTube, and it pulled up. In once I dove into it, I was like, "What is going on?" I have it right here. If you can see, this is a letter from the National School Board Association to the President of the United States. And I'll just read quick some things. Okay, dear President, the America's public schools and its educational leaders are an immediate threat. The National School Board Association respectfully asks for law enforcement and other assists to deal with a growing number of threat, violence, and acts of intimidation occurring across the nation. NSB believes immediate assistance is required to protect our students, school board members, and educators who are susceptible to acts of violence affecting interstate commerce. That's something that the government likes to use, interstate commerce, in order to put sweeping bills in place, by the way. Affecting interstate commerce because of threats to direct families and personal safety. They're saying that due to all the mask mandates and the propaganda continues despite the fact that critical race theory is taught in public schools and remains a complex law in graduate school subjects. So these board meetings blowing up about mask mandates and critical race theory, saying that critical race theory is not being taught in the United States, K through 12. They're saying it's not. They're saying that it's, so you see a lot of video people talking critical race theory happening. They're saying it's not happening. Now we ask for the federal government investigate, intercept, and prevent current threats and acts of violence against our public school officials through existing statutes, executive authority, interagency, intergovernmental force, and other extraordinary measures to ensure the safety of our educators, to protect interstate commerce, and to serve public school infrastructure and campuses. As these threats and acts of violence have become more prevalent during public school board meetings via documented threats transmitted to the U.S. Postal Service through social media and other online platforms and around personal properties, the NSB respectfully asks that a joint collaboration among federal law enforcement agencies, state and local law enforcement, and with public school officials to be undertaken to focus on these threats. SBA specifically solicits the expertise and resources of the U.S. Department of Justice, Federal Bureau of Investigation, U.S. Department of Homeland Security, U.S. Secret Service, and its National Threat Assessment Center. We also request assistance of the U.S. Postal Inspection Service. That's that new allowing the Postal Service to sift through your mail. To intervene again, threatening letters and cyberbullying attacks that have been transmitted to students and members.
This is a bunch of bullshit.
In this letter, it says that they're considering these people domestic terrorism. Okay, so this was a letter sent to the president, right?
Yeah.
And the following Monday, Attorney General Merrick Garland sent out a memo giving all of these departments 30 days to come back with an assessment of how they're going to stop the domestic terrorism and the violence against board members and all stuff. I obviously I don't condone violence on board members. From what I've seen in these videos, there are a lot of parents get there and speaking their opinions like supposed to do in these board meetings. Of course, they're getting super heated and they're crazy. I've seen where the board members are like muting people. You only have a certain amount of time to mute them thing. But
I saw one the other day.
I don't know if it's a domestic terrorism.
I saw one the other day that if you were going to speak in front of the board, like got your 2 minutes, you had to give your name and address.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So Loudoun County in Virginia is a hot for this right now. Talking about the mask mandate and I guess there was a rape. A transgender girl went into a girl's bathroom, raped a student.
Yes.
Raped a girl in one of the bathrooms.
Sexually assaulted.
The whole the bathroom debate or whatever. Someone raped, and then I guess the school board covered it and all this stuff. They're trying.
Oh, you're skipping over the whole thing. So they cut it up, transferred the student to another school.
Yeah, right.
Same thing.
Again.
Did it again.
Really?
So that the father who's become the face of this, like being arrested.
I don't know who speaking about it specifically, but yeah, I've seen a lot of I've seen the videos.
The father of the first girl.
Oh, really?
Who you see him like in front of the board being tackled cops. That's the father of the girl who got raped in the first one.
That's crazy.
Calling them out.
So no matter what's happening, they're trying to consider these parents who are concerned about mask mandates for their kids, vaccine mandates for their kids, critical race theory in the school districts and public restrooms being considered as domestic terrorists. As the letter says, the National School Board Association apparently apologized for using that language, but it's like, the deed's already done. You already wrote the letter, and the president instructed the attorney general to get out this memo that the FBI, National Security Agency, the domestic threat assessment.
I don't know when you did your research.
2 days ago.
Okay, yesterday.
Oh, okay.
I was talking to you about this last night. I looked at Chance last night. I go, that senator from your home state is a badass.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. He's interesting. Yeah.
Rush Hawley episode segment next week. Yeah. No, wherein the attorney general over the memo.
Right.
I never saw that memo.
Yeah, it's like,
and he's like, motherfucker, your name's on it.
You signed and sent it out. So there's no like, oh, I didn't see it. That doesn't matter. It came from your office. Yeah.
Your name's on it.
You're at the top of the chop block. You know what I mean? You're responsible for anything that goes out of your office signed with your name on it. Dude, so you can't go to a public school board meeting and express your, obviously, things getting out of hand. Parents are going crazy. I've seen people get arrested, but this Ted Cruz video. So Ted Cruz in that same right after Josh Hawley is also grilling AG Garland, and he says that out of all the incidences that are cited in the NSB letter to the president, only like 2 of them were actually violent. The rest of them are just parents yelling at school board members during meetings. And so that's grounds for labeling all these people terrorists, go to the mail, the postal service. So they use the interstate commerce. That's how they drop a lot of bills is, it's a threat to interstate commerce. And that's how they can drop these federal bills on things. I can not well versed on that, but I've seen it more. That's insane.
Oh, this I'm telling you, want to see people get red pilled real quick?
Yeah, start fucking with their kids. Start fucking with their kids, and I'm like, dude, I'm dad. Like my kid's gonna have to go to school. I would be at that board meeting saying those things. You know what I mean? If I felt strongly about what my kid's being taught, it's my kid's education.
Teach your math.
Like Candace Owens was talking about, she said the public school is just indoctrinating kids, and it's all just propaganda. You're not learning anything. You're just learning how to listen to these authority figures. So they had the G in the Senate, and they're grilling him. And Chance, I wanted you to play the first video. Can you pull the first? There's another video. Yeah, that one. That's the one I'll watch first. So this is the beginning of Ted Cruz's going after Garland on specifically the memo and the letter that was sent to the president. Okay, go ahead and play it. Volume's down on the. Go ahead. Play it. Pause it. Is the sound connected like it was? Remember I showed you if you go to the top? It's connected?
I'm working.
Dun, 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 dun. So he's going off on Mayor Garland and about this letter and everything.
What, Ted Cruz yelling at somebody in Congress?
Yeah, Senate.
Senate, I mean. Sorry.
So he's going off, and yeah, like you said, I know nothing of this. We didn't research. He literally says I not research into the cases that the National Board Association cited in this letter. And he's like, how do you send out a federal memo instructing all these agencies to investigate something you didn't even do research on?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's like, how do you send a fucking memo? Dude, if it went down the pipe and this became something, you think anyone's going to a school board meeting and talk to them then? No, they're just going to pull the kid out.
It's happening.
Yeah, no, I know it's happening. I've seen some numbers.
I think the Board Association has pulled that memo. They've retracted.
Yes, no, that's why they pulled that letter. I said that they didn't pull their letter to the president they want. That letter still created a memo from the Attorney General.
Yeah,
the memo's not gone. Sure, you can. It's like saying fake news and going back and saying, "Oh, sorry, the damage is already done." The damage is already done. You already said those things and made people take their stance on something.
Can't do anything about the southern border, but let's attack school boards.
I.e., the president, the attorney general, you got them to act upon fake news. You can't just go back and say, "Oh, sorry, we take it back." Everything else is still in play. It's still happening. Just because you say sorry or not, if this becomes anything, you're going to have whole squads of national domestic terrorist investigations through the Post Service, FBI, through the National Security Agency. What the
like I've said before, they're not going to take all your rights away in one big swoop.
Right.
They're going to chip away at them small little bits at a time. We don't even realize it. Until a couple generations look back.
And there's nothing left.
There's nothing left.
That's right.
That's what's going to happen.
Sound going on this?
It said it's going.
Okay, pause all this.
He looks very angry.
Pause the. Okay, so the video's audio is not playing for some reason, whatever. So basically everything I just said, Ted Cruz talks about, right? And so there was this, he goes on this 5-6 minute rant talking about how you didn't know about memo, you didn't reach anything, yet you're putting government memos out to instruct agencies, right? Then MSNBC, there was a part in Ted Cruz's speech where he was one of the incidences that the SBA is a parent doing a Nazi salute to the school board because he's calling them fascists. He's saying that this what the school board is doing is indoctrinating their all this stuff, and he Nazi salute. And that's one of the incidents cited. And Ted Cruz makes mention of that. He goes, Is it illegal for a citizen to do a Nazi salute at a school board member? And AG's no, it's not illegal. It's under the First Amendment right. MSNBC, that one part of Ted Cruz saying, actually, go ahead and play it. Maybe this will play through. Who knows? Just hit play and I'll just talk over it. Not going to play. MSNBC is covering what is happening here, right? And all that they pull out, the only thing that they pull out is Cruz saying, is it okay for a citizen to do a Nazi salute at a school board member? And then the anchors are, whoa, Ted Cruz, you can't say that. That's wrong. Dude, did you miss the part where the AG is instructing law enforcement to go after your parents?
Media is the problem.
What is going on?
Yeah.
So that's my final rant. What the fuck, dude? I'm interested to see what happens with this memo that went down because in the memo it says they have 30 days, and they need to come back. And all these different agencies are supposed to get together and have a discussion on whether or not they need to make any sort of actions against this potential domestic terrorism.
Been rattled,
bro.
People are waking up.
If that happened. And this is in Virginia. This is Loudoun County.
Wait till Tuesday.
That you were talking about having the governor's race in.
The Republican governor candidate's up 8 points, where last week they were tied.
Yeah. What I would love to see is if and you always say this. You hope that constituents vote right? If they want to, in the midterms or in these the elections, if they do start voting in Republicans, you would hope that Democrats are like, okay, we need to tone this back because apparently if we want power, if we want to be in office, we need to tone this back because this is what the people don't want. You know, I would hope that, but
yeah,
you want to see is if Virginia went Republican, they're going to be like, look, Virginia's becoming a Nazi state. You know what I mean? And they're going to be like, look, this is terrible. All the rights we've been working on are now being diminished.
You know, a good example of Virginia is, and I don't have a lot of experience on Virginia, but I was there last year.
It was nice.
I was in a town called Pulaski.
Pulaski is nice.
Super nice. Little, just 10,000 people. Yep. Little country town.
And the guy who was there, born and raised, right?
Yeah.
He was even that the whole industry was.
So Pulaski is known for Pulaski furniture, right? This town used to be a thriving town. Pulaski furniture was some high-end furniture. Drove by factories.
Yeah. It's huge.
Abandoned.
Completely.
Because all the industry went to China. So this whole town was named Pulaski. They named their furniture Pulaski, right? All gone.
Yep.
It's just like a shell of the town used to be.
Yeah, it's literally nothing. It's
so when we were there, we were in like of 2020.
2019.
Yes.
Before the yeah.
So Trump signs
everywhere.
I mean, there's 10 houses on a street. 8 of them had a Trump sign. Why not?
Yeah. Nice. Ones didn't.
And people are like, oh, these are all crazy Republicans. The mayor of that town, a gay man.
Yeah.
So people are getting killed.
Yeah, it's just you can't lie about. Well, for me, the problem is if you only watch MSNBC, that's all of this story.
Yeah, you see.
That's all you're gonna know of this story. That's all you're gonna know. So those people need to start branching out and do research like me.
Yes. Did you get read? You already read. You're purple pilled.
I'm just pilled, bro. I just live in reality. I just want to. You know, if there's bullshit on the right that I see, I'm going to call it out too. We're going to call it out. We're going to about it. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, most of the things that flare me up are these bullshit like this. You know?
Yeah.
Because, bro, I'll be a parent in a public school at some point. I mean, I'm not dealing with that. I'm not dealing with that.
Yeah.
So
I got last thing before we go.
Yeah, this up.
Joe Biden's new slogan, because the Hispanic vote would, generally always Democratic. Mm-hmm. Big swings to Trump, especially here in Texas.
Sure.
Big swings.
Okay.
So he's reaching out to the Hispanic. What is that?
Is this it? That's the link shared with me.
Maybe it'll start off after that. But anyways, he's got a new slogan called Todos con Biden.
Todos con Biden.
Together with Biden.
Okay.
So they had this big presentation and they roll this all out. I'm more interested. Play this link quick. See what it is.
This is the homepage of TikTok.
Yeah.
This is just www.tiktok.com.
Oh.
You need an actual.
Well, anyways, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Let's just not play it.
So get ready to type in while we're talking in here. Todos, TODOS, Con, CON.
Todos con Biden. Todos.com.
Oh. So they introduced this, right?
.com. We got a whole site for this.
Don't hit enter yet.
It's okay.
I'm bringing it up on the.
They forgot to go buy the URL.
Oh, so someone owes.
Who do you think bought it?
Trump.
Yes, he did.
No.
You go to totosconbiden.com.
Yeah.
Guess what? Redirects you.
GoDaddy.com.
Todos. No, with an S. TODOS.
Chance. It's okay. He's okay. Todos.
Trump bought it. It redirects you.
Here we are.
Donald Trump.
Save American. Todos con.
I tell you, I love that.
Hilarious. That's super funny.
So
that's such a troll, dude. Can't people understand that's such a troll? That's so funny. So go to the President of the United States literally is trolling the current President of the United States.
This is why you want to DuckDuckGo.
Okay.
Hit the Google link that I sent you. So if you type in Todos con Biden on Google,
yeah,
it sends you this is just like the Google search page.
Yeah,
that
of course.
comes
Yeah,
up.
just from Google Home.
It goes to I guess Biden people are like, oh shit.
Yeah.
They went out about like every URL close to it, and that's what shows up. That's what Google's showing.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah, go ahead. Let's see. So Toto's combat, JoeBiden.com, JoeBiden.com. Yeah.
See how they changed it just a little bit. Tone Biden policy.
Scroll down. Yeah, so it's not going to find any of the Totos.com, the actual.
So get up the next link. So they didn't. Trump stop there.
Okay.
They went and bought the Twitter. they registered the Twitter first. Look at this. This you know those dog.
Yeah.
Jose, he forgot about Latinos.
This is crazy. This is such a troll.
It was all talk. Oh my god,
that's funny.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. That's such a troll. I love that.
I let the troll move.
Hey, do you know HMX-1?
That sounds vaguely
It's
familiar.
it's the Marine squad that's in charge of flying the president's helicopter.
Okay.
Marine One.
I did.
Okay. So I have someone who was a Marine for 35 years, okay, more. Yeah. And he told me about at HM1 in Virginia, the where sometimes most of the time the helicopter with the White House, but sometimes the president will go to HX1 and get flown away. And this is anything said of this, but he was telling me that every president, there's always playing and always a song that signifies the president. So I don't know what Obama is, but he was saying that Bush's was like Brown-Eyed Girl. So like if the song Brown-Eyed Girl came up, the Marines of HMX-1 knew to get ready for the president's coming. And obviously someone probably told them, but you know what I mean? Like that's not the official signifier, but it was like a subtle signifier that, hey, the president's coming, get your shit together, blah, blah. And I was just sitting there thinking, like, what would Joe Biden's song at HMX-1 be?
Oh, my God.
And I was thinking, Brandon.
Did you hear he got kicked off YouTube?
Yes, I saw it for anti-vaccination stuff, anti-COVID something like. But I didn't believe you that it was number one song on. I went on to see that screenshot. Yeah. It was the number one song on iTunes. Go Brandon, and I was like, wow, that is awesome.
They got kicked off too.
Again, such a troll. So funny.
Oh, well,
that's hilarious.
Trolling.
Yeah, sure. We need more trolls. We need to laugh at the absurdity that we live in sometimes. You know what I mean? Like everything that I just told you about this school thing, that's so dark and scary, and it really is. That's dark and scary. We need Toto's
People are waking up.
We need Toto's Biden in life a little bit. You know what I mean? We need a little bit of joking. Okay, you want to close this out?
Yeah, that was a good one.
Hit that close out. There we go. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, thanks for hanging with us. I know that this was a long episode. We're probably like 2.5 hours in, right?
4 hours for us.
Yeah, we've been here for it's freaking noon. But thank you for watching. This has been Generational Gap. Give us a like and subscribe. Follow us on social media. Gen Gap Talk on TikTok and Gen Gap Pics on Instagram. We'll be in some new posts this week, so look forward to that. Thank you so much for watching.
Let's go, Brandon.
Bye, guys.